Friday night in front of a packed Subiaco, boys became men.
This is getting very embarrassing for the Irish side.
Kevin Sheedy's unheralded young Aussies demolished Ireland with devastating ball movement and lightning-fast leg speed. It was a performance that left the Irish stunned.
They were just superior in every facet of the game. It was a very harrowing experience. Probably my worst night in football.
For the jubilant Australians, it was a night to cherish.
That stuff that you'll take to the grave, so to sing the national anthem, it was pretty awesome.
However, the job's only half done. Ireland is a proud nation and its talented team will come out with all guns blazing.
We play with pride and we make it a much more competitive and a much more meaningful game.
From Telstra Dome, it's the second test between Australia and Ireland on Nine's Wide World of Sports.
What a difference a week makes in international rules football. 7 days ago, this Irish team were red-hot favourites against an unheralded Australian lineup at Subiaco Oval. 80 minutes later, they were on the receiving end of a 36-point flogging. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Telstra Dome for the second international rules test. Brian Taylor joins me, and Brian, it has been a long week for the Irish boys.
Well, it certainly has, Gaz, and they come to Melbourne here. And let's not forget that Australia have never won a game here in Melbourne as yet, so we know they've won over in Perth, but a 36-point thrashing last week wasn't fantastic. To see the Irish boys warming up, I'm sure the coach, Pete McGrath, would have had some words to his players, and there's one of the players there, Colin Cooper. We'll talk about him a little bit later.
A lot of soul-searching done. They had copped some heavy criticism from abroad and also here. Big travelling media contingent. They were stunned at just how good the Australian team were. They expect a fierce comeback from the Irish.
They were very, very confident at Subi last week before the game, Gaz. They've had that confidence knocked out of them, and they did it by the score line there. Look at that, 36 points, the highest score ever in Gaelic football in the series recorded so far. Australia's first 10 attempts at goal were 9 overs, 3-pointers if you like. They were absolutely sensational in front of goal.
Their skill level was superb, but they had a massive emphasis on pressure on the opposition, and their ability to chase down the Irish players, I think, caught everyone by surprise, particularly these Irish superstars that came over here, thought they would run away from the Australian team, but with the inclusion of Lovett here, look at this chase down, you'll see Newman shortly, one of the great chases you'll ever likely to see. Delidio was also involved in a couple of big chase downs. This was the sort of thing that put the fear and the doubts in the minds of the Irish from the word go, and it was the number one reason the Aussies got over the top of them.
Was it the youth and hunger that allowed them to do that sort of thing, Garry?
No doubt about it, but look, when you have a look at some of these guys running out on the pitch, Gene Syracuse here, quick. Luke Hodge was superb last week. Aaron Davey, a couple of his chase downs were superb. What about Brent Maloney, young fella getting his first game, some changes. We're talking about those in the Australian lineup. You see Brent Harvey there, you talk about leg speed. This is the team that Kevin Sheedy wanted from the word go. He got what he wanted, and it paid massive dividends on Friday night.
Eamon Buchanan and Chris Newman, as you've already mentioned, outstanding. This man here, Aaron Davey, boy, did he add a bit of spark to the Australians early, and Morris was an absolute sensation on their best player last week.
Dale Who, they lovingly call him, and I think he has announced himself. Kevin Sheedy, well, he's had a massive impact on this competition in the space of 7 days. He had a big press conference yesterday, huge media contingent there, Brian, both Australian and Irish, and Sheeds, well, he was at his provocative best.
You have the smile of a very confident man.
That's the 5th time you've said confident in this room. I think you've got a problem with confidence in your life. I need to sit down and have a meaningful meeting with you in your life. Okay. As far as I'm concerned, go and watch soccer and good luck to you. It'll be probably 0-1 or 0-0 or 1-all. Or come to our game and get a life.
It was a special press conference. Not sure if you saw it, Brian, but he challenged the Irish to be more physical. He told them that they had to stand up, defended Russell Robertson's bump, and said that that's just the way the Australians have played since 10 years of age. But here's the Australian side. A few changes.
A couple of changes, Gary. Makepeace, Maloney and Waite come into the side for the Australians. It's a fairly strong-looking side, isn't it? You look at Gilby and Milburn, Delidio, as you mentioned, Gene Syracuse and Morris, Newman. They're all sensational last week. Let's not forget Dustin Fletcher as well. He played that role absolutely brilliantly last week, and their scoring power up front as well. When you look at the likes of Davis and Harvey and Davey and Lappin, they are a very, very powerful side.
No Daniel Wells, who hasn't overcome that ankle and Achilles injury, and that is disappointing. But you don't take any risks at this time of the year with the Kangaroos, obviously big year ahead. So He's put faith in his players that got the job done. They did it beautifully. I think he would have been a proud coach. I know he was. He's down on the boundary, Kevin Sheedy with Tony Jones.
Thank you very much, Garry. Good evening. Well, Kevin, you threw down the gauntlet there through the week. Let's get physical was the message. Do you reckon they might take the bait?
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, I think it'll be a terrifically competitive match. I think that all I really said was in the end it was that I didn't think that Robertson's hit was untoward in regard he didn't lift an elbow. If it was an elbow, well, I would have thought fair enough. But look, we've just got to be careful of the rules as in the international rules. But it's very hard for our players to just drop a full-on hard crack at a ball and a play in bumping, which is a good honest bump. But in this game, it's very difficult for our players. So, but in general, our players have been very competitive. They train very well again, and I would think that it gives us a good chance. And we'll see how we go in that first quarter. It's a very quick match. It's only 84 minutes. I'll be home ready. Look, they'll be home having supper tonight somewhere in Melbourne around about 9:30.
All right, and you'll be pleased to know Melbourne victory 0, Adelaide United 0.
I'll tell you what. All I was saying is that you got races on tonight. You got this game on tonight, the international rules. You got the big derby tomorrow. Soccer. We just want to make sure that we got a bigger crowd than Perth. Otherwise, you can't let Perth beat us.
All right, good on you, mate. Good luck.
No worries.
Kevin Sheedy down on the boundary with Tony Jones. The Irish line-up, let's have a look at this team. They've had some changes, made some changes, and starting some big-name players on the interchange bench, Brian.
4 changes, Gary. McMenamin, the enforcer, has come into the side of the Irish. Watch for this man. He's the man that goes around belting everyone, or at least talking it up anyway. Manelli comes into the side, Jordan, and Desi Dolan, who's a bit of an ancient player in this game, has been around for years.
Renowned goal scorer, Desi Dolan, number 9 down there in the pocket. Here's the skipper, Podrick Joyce, super experienced player, was massively disappointing last week, and he would have been disappointed with his performance. Expect a better showing from him, and this man was disappointing. Kieran McDonald, the glamour boy, the superstar. Chris Newman absolutely put him to the sword. Let's see what he can deliver.
He looked completely outclassed. Look at this man here. Get a good look at him. That is the Gooch, the best player to come out of Gaelic football in Ireland. I tell you what, I pumped him up last week.
You did?
He had a shocker. He had just 3 touches. If he doesn't get hold of the ball tonight, Gary, I am personally going to go down and speak to the Gooch and rip him apart because he should be taking the game by the scruff of the neck. He doesn't look like he can
Give
play.
him a chance, Brian. He may come back. Looking forward to seeing the Gooch in action. Jim Steins is a man of Irish heritage, of course. Very proud of his Irish background. He knows the Irish people well. He expects them to hit back pretty hard. He has not conceded that this series is over just yet.
Pretty proud people, very patriotic, and they were devastated losing by 36 points last week.
This has been a comprehensive smashing up to this point by this Australian side.
A lot of people watching them, they copped a lot of criticism in the papers over there.
6-pointer for the Irishmen.
They want to win at all costs.
Welcome back to the Telstra Dome. Big crowd in, over 30,000 tickets sold this morning, and a big atmosphere. It is filling up nicely, only moments away from the start of the second international rules test, Australia v Ireland. Can the Irish pull back 36 points? We'll find out very shortly as we head down to the Master of Ceremonies, the AFL. Craig Willis for the singing of the national anthems.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Australian Football League and Foster's welcome you to the Foster's International Rules Series here tonight at Telstra Dome, which will be upstanding now for the Irish National Anthem, to be performed by Damien Howard and Alan O'Connell.
Come
shall live calling a royal
And now would you please remain standing for the Australian National Anthem to be performed by Bella.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is good by sea. Our land abounds in nations' gifts, all beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, and let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Fantastic stuff. I'm sure you could pick up the atmosphere if you're sitting at home. And as I welcome Dwayne Russell, there is a massive Irish contingent here as well, Dwayne. It is a great atmosphere.
Something we don't often see in our brand of football too, Gary, and it's a pleasure to be here to see Sheedies, Speedies in action again. And they've made an umpiring change too, the Irish. They've decided to bring in Michael Collins, and David Coldrick has been omitted, so he'll be umpiring tonight, Michael Collins, with Matthew James. And there is Pete McGrath on screen. He's got some work cut out to get the game plans and structures to counter what was an awesome performance by Australia last week.
Chris Johnson, co-captain, Podrick Joyce.
Your call. It's your call. It is. Sorry, mate. As you are.
Chris Johnson's won the toss. We'll kick the left of screen before proceedings get underway. Let's go down to Tawny All Jones.
Yes, thank you, Gary. Thank you very much for that. Well, obviously an emotional moment tonight for Desi Dorland. He didn't play last week, but I could have sworn he had a tear in his eye out there as the national anthem was being played. Or maybe it was because of this. This was the warm-up in the rooms only moments ago, and boing, she went. And that was felt all the way back to Ireland. He took a couple of minutes to recover, but those round balls can certainly be very, very vicious, fellas. We'll keep an eye out for him tonight.
As can the international rules balls. There's Tony Jones down on the ground. Desi Dolan is up and about and ready to go. Great to see the jumpers of Richmond and Hawthorn and Western Bulldog supporters standing shoulder to shoulder in support of the Australian team this evening, boys. It's going to be a beauty. Look for a red-hot opening of 5 minutes of frantic footy from the Irish. They need to score and score quickly early in the piece.
It is a fast game. Chris Johnson, Aaron Davey, two of the best out there in that department, no doubt about it. Big crowd here. You mentioned the Irish contingent, Gary. I tell you what, I reckon it's almost equaling what Australia has got here tonight to witness this game. Fantastic, fantastic Irish crowd here tonight.
Aggregate scores, of course. The Aussies need not necessarily win the game, but 36-point buffer. Nice to have.
Kavanagh and Candy in the middle for the ball up for Ireland, and it was Hodge and McLeod combining well for Australia. They're forward again towards the 20, ball close to the line, and I think it was off the hands of Tom Kelly, who was the man that Russell Robertson put down last week. Australian free, handball to Eagleton from Johnson, the captain tonight. Co-captains for this series for Australia, McLeod and Johnson. And he almost lays the tackle on Halpin. He gives to Kelly, crunch, same old for the Aussies. They dish it up, and there's a free. They've got the goal, the over Australia.
He's paying the free kick to Ireland, I think.
He is. It's giving it to O'Halpin. So it won't be a score that counts for Australia.
Thought it was a superb tackle by Nick Davis.
Well, Michael Collins, the Irish umpire, has been brought into this game. Some say the Irish didn't get a fair go last week. I'm suspecting they will tonight with Michael Collins in charge as the Irish goalkeeper. Out of attack, the Australians once again applying the early pressure, and in there hard was Chris Newman.
And he's paid the free kick to Australia on this occasion. I tell you what, Michael Collins, he'll get the crowd thinking about things.
McLeod, a couple of touches already. This one goes out wide. So the Aussies have done all the attacking early. Look at the skills of Davis. Defending tackle there may well be penalised. In fact, it was over the line and out of bounds. And that'll be an Irish ball.
Pete McGrath said all week that the tackling was something that they needed to work on already. They've laid a couple of decent tackles, the Irish. They're far more committed to that.
Halpin with a short pass. He, of course, has the two brothers at Carlton, Satana and Ozaki. Halpin actually a hurling player. If you don't know what hurling is, he's a hurling champion. It's a cross between hockey, lacrosse and armed robbery. And he adds some toughness, you would think, Halpin tonight. Lappin, he gets the handball out. Tackle laid.
Australia ball.
Australia ball. It'll go to Morrison. Wasn't he a star last week? Dale Morris. Only 17 AFL games. Dale Morris, and on debut last week he had 20 possessions for Australia, and he'll get this handball from Lappin, you would think.
The pressure is much better already from the Irish.
Lappin at the defensive 45. Poor kick. Jim Syracuse tried to keep it alive. Whoever touches the ball last when it goes over the line. Free kicks awarded against them, as in most other sports. And this one has been taken by Lynch. Anthony Lynch just on the centre line there. There's the handball off to Cullen. Cullen goes wide to Jordan. Philip Jordan, a centering ball. Nice one it was. Off hands, in they go. Candy had a crack at it. Handball came out. Patrick Joyce has a shot for an over. The first of the night. The Irish are away with a three-pointer.
It's a good start. The Aussies are just trying to slow things down, push numbers back. They don't want Ireland to get off to a flyer, but that's the Patrick Joyce of the last couple of series. He's a very dangerous scorer.
Yeah, they need their captain to stand up. 54 points in 9 tests before last week's shocker, Patrick Joyce. And this is his 11th international rules game. McLeod down the wing with some style. Had 2 bounces. You're only allowed 2. This is Dua, the captain of the premiership team this year, Tyrone. Dua gets it to half forward to Candy. Well played. Over the top to George. Big crunch. Benny Calder was knocked down. In for the 6-pointer. Dustin Fletcher in the way again as he was last week. He continues to be superb in goal. Lappin, Eagleton, Morris, the Australians working. Morris a free kick in the back. McLeod allowed to play on across halfway. Has another bounce. Looks up. Wants a pass option. Goes to Eagleton. He will think about the over. Has a launch at it and misses only a behind.
Don't underestimate how important that Dustin Fletcher save was. A 6-pointer there would have been enormous. 9 points to nothing the start they wanted. Big blue on here too. Aaron Davey involved. Aaron Davey right in the middle of it with Anthony Lynch.
That's actually the enforcer, McMenamin.
Well, he started with Lynch and then the enforcer came rushing in.
There he is, number 21, McMenamin. Didn't play last week. Brought in to add some strength.
Ball comes short. Brian Dua marks and goes wide. Oh, an easy mark dropped on that occasion. So the Aussies under a little bit of pressure here early. Thought about the handball, now gets it inboard. There is Lynch. Lynch gives it away, comes out wide, got it Jordan. Jordan over the halfway line. Ball once again in attacking 50 for the Irish. Australia look under enormous pressure. Handball comes to Kavanagh. He was run down by Harvey. Shot it off the ground for a 6-pointer.
Free kick.
It'll come back, it won't count.
Free kick. I tell you, the Aussies under enormous pressure here, Brian.
Push.
Let's listen.
He already had possession. Push. I blew it. If he didn't push, he wouldn't have gone and got it. Push, here.
He's paid a push in the back.
Oh.
Now,
Had possession first.
advantage would see the Irish team with a 6-pointer in the net. Will he pay advantage? No. So Kavanagh, I think, is the player with the ball. Sean Kavanagh, this is the man the Brisbane Lions are very keen to get a hold of. Does he go the 6? It's not a penalty.
He goes the over. Second in a row for the Irish.
The big
and there's a bit of a box on behind play. Harvey's put one down. The Australians, McLeod's there. And they're going
It's on.
It's about
Bill Burns gone Kavanagh, and they are at it behind play. You call the player wants the fight. Big chance here. Harvey's run down the wing. Crosses the halfway, over the 45, goes toward goal. Big mark by the man without a club, Matty Lappin. Hasn't signed with Carlton yet, and they might want to sign him after that.
It is electric right now. This atmosphere has got to be seen to be believed. You've got to be here. And
Look at McManaman's got the head into Chris Johnson. He's got the Irish headbutt on him.
It was Sean Martin Lockhart, I think, and Milburn, the blue back here. Not punches, but it's, I tell you what, the Irish boys are up and about. And this is the man, 21, he had a chest infection last week. They talked him up as the big tough man.
Tell you what, he'll have some other infection if he's not careful.
He's not taking a backward step though, Bryce.
Lappin lines up for the over and he scores. 3 points to Australia.
Just keep your wits about you right now. There's something happening all over the field.
Well, they were robbed at the other end, the Irish.
What should have been advantage in a 6-point goal.
Okay, so let's just recap here. The Irish off to a flying start, and they are very productive in this game so far. Ball comes wide. McManus could have got himself a free. Advantage played again. The Irish with pace go forward. Here's Desi Dolan. He was one of the late inclusions. That kick's not good. Barely a point. I thought it was out of bounds on the full from our angle than it is.
Gee, I tell you,
look at this. Morris has come in and given him a bit too, Garry, so it is on everywhere.
Well, Desi Dolan's the one who broke Jared Crouch's collarbone in Ireland last year. He didn't play last week, Desi Dolan. Yes, fairly, with a really good bump. He is tough and hard. Morris on the outside. Big tackle. This is a different Irish team. Toward half forward. Desi Dolan again. Spins around. Sends it home from 3. He may have got it. He has.
Yeah, I tell you, the tackling, the pressure, and they're getting behind the Australian defence. That's what Kevin Sheedy be worried about. Too many times running free into goal. That's something they're going to have to look at.
McLeod goes forward with a bit of an inside-out ball off the right side of the boot. Eagleton's been no good. Harvey decides not to take him on the foot race. Wants to go back. He got a tackle high from Kavanagh. And the umpire said he dropped it. Dropped it. Very, very clear there from the Irish umpire, Michael Collins.
It was on out the back too. Lappin and Lynch were into it. It is on everywhere at the moment, boys. You reckon this isn't a fair dinkum and serious?
Yeah, stand them up, come on.
And this is the way you'd expect an Irish national team to react and respond to the savaging they got last week.
Kavanagh goes wide to McManaman. The troublemaker here tonight early, make no mistake about it. He was pulled as he kicked it. Turnover, Lappin and Morris combined. Out wide, here's Lovett. He got tackled. Shrugged the tackle, can go over the top of Johnson. A spinning pirouette out of trouble. Goes to the left footer, Eagle in the middle. He tries to turn him inside out. Hurried kick off the boot. Not very effective. And as we'll see, the Irish take the free ball.
On again, it's on again. Eagleton's into it with Lynch.
He is down. The umpire is in the middle of it.
Emergency umpire out.
Hey, Tom. No time. The Aussies not getting the time that they enjoyed last week when shooting at goal. Kelly, the player there with Chris Johnson. Standing up at the moment, the Irish.
Having a word to him. Hey, Tom, that's Tom Kelly, who got knocked down last week by Russell Robertson, who's not playing tonight. And Russell Robertson did apologise during the week. He said it wasn't within the rules. Ireland away again. This is Benny Coulter. Little chip kick is good. Gets it towards half forward. Around the body kick by Podrick Joyce, the captain. Might be too wide for McManus. It is. McManus couldn't get there and he's not happy about it.
Good fortune though again. McManus got in behind the defence.
O'Keefe's put him down.
No need. Their ball.
Reversed.
No, but you no need to put him down. No need to put him down. Lovey, get away. Go.
Very,
no
very
need for you
clear.
to put him down like that, okay?
There from umpire Matthew James. It was a correct decision. O'Keefe
his ball.
sat him on the backside.
Now, the Aussies at the moment are in danger, Brian, of being sucked in here by the Irish, and it's surprising. They didn't need to play like this last week. They don't need to fall in here.
McManus from the sideline, a very tough kick. Cross the face of goal. Out of bounds on the full.
Goal kick.
But it'll be Dustin Fletcher with the goal kick. There's the bump.
Clash of heads, I think, in the end. That's why he was rubbing his cheek. Just got to settle the Aussies here. Just settle. We get a bit of a composure back.
Dustin Fletcher to O'Keefe. The man who had the indiscretion moments ago, and he can't get this one. It's an island ball.
This is what we didn't see last week. The Aussies hit their target so beautifully last week. They didn't turn the footy over too much.
That was Stephen O'Neill with a short pass there. It's off hands and it's out of play as we go down to Tony Jones.
Well, I can tell you Dipper's absolutely pumped tonight. He's just given the medical staff a pep talk.
Well, and we didn't see that either from Gene Syracuse. It dropped the mark. Little bit of pressure coming on the Aussies. And just right now, the Irish got the upper hand.
Podrick Joyce, the skipper, thought about it from the 45 line. Too far out, gave it off to the enforcer, McManaman. This time he was dumped by Lovett, and Lovett admired his work as well. And McManaman is down. The enforcer has been sat down, and he is in some trouble. And you get the feeling he might cop more than he gives tonight.
Well, McMenamin was a premiership player this year with Tyrone. There's 5 Tyrone players out there, and they're sticking up their own. Ryan McMenamin put down, but he's up. And this is his international debut as well, Ryan McMenamin. He wants to produce. Australia away. Grant runs across the 45, gets to the 20 and sprays it. And Garry, you mentioned things they weren't doing last week. They weren't running the ball wide. They were having their shots from in the corridor. And they weren't kicking inaccurately last week as well, and that was a spray.
That wasn't far away from a free kick downfield.
That was McMenamin, of course, who went down.
And they weren't missing goals like that, you're right, Dwayne. And look at this, once again behind the defence.
Kavanagh picks it up in the middle. Here they go again, the Irish into a track. O'Neill goes for the three-pointer, and the kicking for goal hasn't been what it was last week from both sides. And that one just a behind from O'Neill.
Well, again, Pete McGrath, the coach, they are the sorts of goals that he would be expecting his players to get. But the good news for the Irish is that on a fast break, they're catching the Aussies off guard.
Well, he's normally very good, Stephen O'Neill. He won the equivalent of the Coleman medal for the leading point scorer in Ireland this year. Buchanan across the 45. Big chance for an Australian over here. And Eamon Buchanan gets it. They needed that. The premiership player with the Sydney Swans, who came of age this year. Eamon Buchanan gets the over.
Well, that was created by the Dustin Fletcher kick in. Garry cleared the pack and went to the middle of the ground.
You can see, Brian, from both sides. Once the team get a fast break in some space as they head towards goal, it's so difficult to chase them down.
It is indeed. There's the little fella in Brian Dewar, working his way through some traffic. Unorthodox looking kicking skills to Ford. Couldn't control it. Love it. Look at the sidestep. Beautiful. Looks in the middle of the ground. Sees a couple of open players. Here's the dangerous McLeod. McLeod takes a couple on. Gets around him. Now goes for the kick. The over. It's there. Hits the post. And ricochets just to the behind side. And that is a minor score for McLeod.
Here the kick comes your boy, Bryser.
The Gooch, he's on. He better do something tonight, Garry. Otherwise, it's all over for him.
Oh, big tackle by Grant. Ball turned over. Snap it. Goal is wayward from Brent Maloney. It's his first kick in international rules footy. It's his international rules debut tonight, Brent Maloney. And he couldn't slop one there.
This is the area where McVeigh struggled last week. The Aussie pressure from a kick in was being superb, and now they're getting back to it.
They've got him wrapped up again. McVeigh not having another good game here. Thought he might have been left out of the side. Here's McDonald through the middle of the ground. He's one of their main playmakers. Buchanan got a hand on it. The step around was good. Look at the numbers. The Australians just try and run the forward back through them. They turn the ball over. That's going to be play on umpire. It'll come back and be an Australian ball.
Starting to lay some tackles now, the Aussies. Starting to make them stick.
That's McMenamin in the thick of the game, the enforcer. Boy, is he going to come out with a rough-looking head tonight. The kick inboard is beautiful to O'Keefe. And O'Keefe is marked directly in front, right on the 20-metre line.
They have settled the Aussies. They are starting to assert themselves physically. Just a little bit of composure from some of their experienced players. Kick this goal, and it's Aussies in front.
The last two scores by the Australians. O'Keefe 8 points last week. Here he is directly in front. He won't miss this. It's on the way. That's an over. That's a three-pointer. And all of a sudden the Australians hit back.
Well, have they fired their best shot, the Irish boys? Can they keep that sort of pressure up that they exerted in the first 6 or 7 minutes? Remains to be seen. Look at McVeigh, nervous.
He's nervous again. He's a forestry worker, the goalkeeper McVeigh. They needed 3 fellas in goals last week, not 3 fellas. Chance for here in the middle to Buchanan. He got a little one up, throw, and it'll be an Ireland ball. It'll be to O'Neill. Goes for the low ball. Going for the Gooch. He was clean ball. Picked up by O'Keefe. Goes a little wider. Now Davey has a bounce on the outer side. Caught by Canty. Ball turned over. Going hard was for Australia Maloney. He got it to O'Keefe. He's caught on a good tackle. Close to the sideline. Davey keeps it alive for Australia. Ball still knocked forward by McDonald though for Ireland. Goes the toe poke pickup. Caught by Davey. Lays a good tackle. This is the Gooch. The Gooch got a handball up. Big shot at goal from Munnelly. Dustin Fletcher got a hand on it. And Australia away on the rebound.
Gonna run it out the opposite side. The Australians make peace. Little kick around the body. Found Lovett. Lovett inboard to Lappin. Back to Lovett again. He's got pace. Trying to run him down. There was Ford. Had to get rid of it. Lappin's got support wide, but he takes him on down the middle. The kick is pretty good. Here's O'Keefe again. Here's the goalkeeper, McVeigh. He's nervous. He's nervous. He slid this one away just in the nick of time, and it comes out wide to O'Shea. O'Shea just steadies the Irish ship at half back.
Thomas O'Shea, whose father Paddy was a Gaelic star and his brother Dara played for Ireland against Australia a couple of years ago.
Kieran
Gets to
McDonald.
the midfield.
Sorry, Dwayne. Kieran McDonald on. McNewman, the player's gone straight to him. Here he is.
That was the former captain Canty. He got it wide to McDonald, as you said. Gary, he is the Ackermanis of the Irish League. He's an ex-gooch, dyes his hair and loves to be in the middle of it. The gooch, he couldn't grab it. Gilby does for Australia. He goes wide with the pass to Lidio, and his kick is wayward, and it's out of bounds. It'll be an Irish ball, and Kieran McManus will take it.
That kick of McManus went deep. It's a beautiful field kick.
Canty got rid of it just in the nick of time to Cullen. They're under a pressure now. The Aussies starting to exert their pressure and physical presence on the ball. Maloney was good. Look at the grab from Buchanan. It was sensational in the middle. Tucks it under the arm of Bounce. Unique view there. Great shot for receiving from the 9 cameras. McDonald in the middle. Here they go. Dwayne. Deledio got it to Lovett. Lovett can go over the top to Shannon Grant. Shannon Grant's got a mile. He's there. Won't get it. And Kelly got back. The man that was hit by Robertson last week. And he's sat down. This time by Jared Waite.
Settle.
But Tom Kelly, shirt-fronted by Russell Robertson last week, but not afraid to run back with the flight tonight, and it's on again.
That was a let-off. I mean, the Aussies were 2 against 1. It just happened to fall in between 2 Australians.
Back to the goalkeeper, Mickey McVeigh.
Look out. Still going here.
That's Grant
Lockhart, I think.
Yes, Sean Martin Lockhart, one of the more experienced players for Ireland. Now the ball to the outer side. Play on here from the enforcer, Ryan McMenamin. Got over the top to Munnelly. He got dumped.
Downfield.
And it'll be downfield from the 20 for Ireland. A chance for an over for Ireland to take the lead back with 2 minutes to quarter time. 20-minute quarters, of course, in this international rules series.
That's not what we saw last week from the Aussies. They are far more disciplined. They've turned the footy over. O'Keefe now twice. That one downfield, and also the free kick that was out of bounds when McManus was the player. So this is a gift, 3 points here for the Irish.
So Ross Munnelly playing in his first international match. Didn't play last week. Brought in for this week's clash. And to put Ireland in front. And he gets the over. Ireland by 2 points. And remember, at quarter time last week, they were down by 10.
Right, okay, Kevin Sheedy's taking him straight off the ground. And this is a tactic the Australians employed beautifully last week. The Irish slow to react again.
Remember the aggregate scores, 36 points the difference at the start of this game. 3 points the difference at the moment, 1 minute and a quarter remaining in this first quarter of football. Lambert, Morris has found a bit of space. If it stays in, it doesn't.
Oh, the out of bounds, the turnovers from the Aussies. This can hurt.
And there's a bit of a knock too. Got one in the eye, did Manelli. Not deliberate, of course. Ball this time sent forward to Brendan Coulter. Couldn't handle it. The Aussies arrive in numbers, collide into each other. Play on calls the umpires. Hodge got it out. They go forward again. The Aussies, not a lot of time. Gian Siracusa over to Buchanan. Buchanan wide to Lovett. He's got the linking player and Morris wide if he wants. Might have to go there. Took a bounce. Look at them queue up in the middle. Trying to do a little bit too much with the ball at the moment, the Aussies. Buchanan through the middle. There's something happening off the ball here. Lovett.
Play on advantage.
It's played on, set up by Collins. Comes off the hands. Shot at goal, Maloney. Poor attempt, McVeigh, as the play goes on and the fight sorted out in the middle.
The pressure on everywhere. Look, Irish have got numbers across the other side of the ground.
Kieran McManus just chips the ball on a nice chip as well. This is Stephen O'Neill. Normally a very accurate kick of the ball. Davey cuts it off. 10 seconds from quarter time. They're allowed, like soccer, to play a little bit of added time for injury, but they won't. In this opening term, there were no injuries, but boy, was it hot in the kitchen.
Just stand by for the spot fires here as the two teams head to their respective huddles. Been a lot of niggle. Love it there. Has been involved in plenty of them. The Irish have been far more physical, far more inclined to tackle and dump. And a little psychological victory for the Irish in this first quarter. They go to the quarter-time break with a 2-point buffer. It's the win I think they're chasing. 36 points might be beyond them. They've made a pretty good start at the Telstra Dome. We're off and running, boys. Michael Collins not waiting for the light to go off.
No, the new Ireland umpire has had an influence already. Lappin gets the first possession towards half-forward. Halpin. Nice grab, almost played on.
Well, Irish pride on the line, boys.
The doubt there.
They've come in at quarter time, 2 points ahead. A big win. Now, can they sustain it?
Halpin's kick not so good, but it'll be gobbled up by Harvey. Sends it back into the hot spot. Chance here for Lovett. Oh, good pickup. Slotted it nicely to Davis.
On the ground. Illegal pickup.
Illegal pickup.
No, illegal pickup.
Now the umpire saying he was on the ground when he picked it up because that is illegal.
Paying it to Ireland here against Lovett.
Yeah.
Now Lovett's knee on the ground there, picking it up. You're not allowed to have any part of your body on the ground apart from your feet, Brian.
Correct call there from the Irish umpire, Michael Collins. Got it right. Little ball over the top here to the man that really needs to fire tonight, McDonald. He needs to get the job done.
Oh, dear.
The tackling by the Australians. Good sign at the start of this second quarter. Eagleton tries to weave a bit of magic wide to Lappin. Lappin goes for the over and missed it badly. And I think that one's out of bounds to the full. Tony Jones, ground level.
Well, Kevin Sheedy, as he said to his troops, we fully expected them to come back as hard as they have, but the tackle rate is what he's irking in them at the moment. He wants that upped.
Handball is good to Brian Cullen, and he runs the wing for Ireland across the halfway line. Has his second bounce. Oh, it nearly slipped from his grasp, it was, but he gets away with it. Gets it to Graham Canty, the former captain, with a long kick. Good diving mark, though, Gian Siracusa. He was a great player last week. Hands off to last week's captain, the co-captain McLeod. Rolls it towards Lovett. Chips the ball towards half forward. Down there. Good mark, Davis.
Great mark, wasn't it? Really need to do it because Halpin was loose behind. They would have had 2-on-1 had that ball hit the ground. Just got to go back. He showed us last week, Nick Davis, what a beautiful kick he was.
10 points on debut for his country last week, Davis. And he has slotted the 3 points here. The premiership player for the Swans gives Australia back the lead.
The big question here, can McVeigh find an Irish teammate here?
His kick-ins haven't been good. This one is better, Garry. And just a reminder, the Australians starting to gain a bit of ground. 4 of the last 5 scoring shots have belonged to Australia. In the middle, Canty has got the ball. Looks to go downboard, but too many numbers there. Gian Siracusa played a positive role so far for the Aussies. We'll send this one wide to Harvey. Eagleton might have to help. Hands out wide to Morris, who's running off half-back. Drawing handball to Harvey. Now Harvey's got a bit of space. Got the speed with the legs to go with it. Kicks inboard. Up they fly. Hodge couldn't hold the mark. The Irish at ground level able to pick it up through Cullen. He goes inboard. Gives it off to Heaney. Under enormous pressure here, the Irish, they come through the middle of the ground. This is Cullen. Cullen delivers forward. Kick was ordinary. Lappin will be able to tidy this up along with Fletcher.
Just the
for the Australians.
Forward line structure for the Irish is getting dragged up the ground, chasing the Aussies out, not getting back into position.
Lappin, Gian Siracusa, and then he dishes off to O'Keefe. Candy couldn't trap him for Ireland. O'Keefe buffeted towards the line. Gave it to Lovett, who was almost over the sideline, but they've turned it over. Munnelly to Halpin, and the Irish away again through halfway. A little fumble, but it was okay. Podrick Joyce goes wide, very wide, and the mark to Matty Ford, who is the Nathan Buckley of the Irish comp. He plays for Wexford, who's a lowly team, but he is their big superstar.
I'm not sure Nathan Buckley would do that.
No, he wouldn't have done that. He's spot on. Delidio to Johnson, who runs the wing. Got turned around there. He wanted to keep going. He didn't have a lot to kick to. And they are away. Good mark to Tom Kelly.
Kelly plays on in the middle, gives the ball off to Lynch. Lynch can take a run. Little kick over the top was good. He was knocked off the ball after he got rid of it. A possible 3. Great tackle by the Aussies as Joyce was stripped of the ball. And they're away. Johnson will get bowled over in the middle. High tackle. Collins, the umpire says play on. Surrounded by Irish. Oh, it's tough in there at the moment as Lockhart able to just save the day for the Irish. Kicks the ball. And a very wide ball.
Oh, Crowe's thrown one.
Oh, he has 2. Back behind play, Trent Crowe. And I reckon it might have been Tom Kelly.
I don't think the umpires have seen it, although Peter German, the Australian runner, was out there quickly. I think he had a good look at it. Davis in the middle to McLeod. McLeod trucks a couple back to Davis. Here they go, Lappin again. Has a look around. Realised he can run a little further. This one to Harvey. Got to do a good job in the air. Brilliant defence by the Irish on that particular occasion. Kavanagh.
Oh, there's the first one, but there was a second one after that. And then Trent's gone in for dessert after the main course. Lappin Got the handball, but Davis sold the dummy, tries to slot a short one to O'Keefe. The two Swan boys working well.
What beautiful skill from Nick Davis to kick a ball like that under some pressure and hit the leading Ryan O'Keefe on the chest. Now, you wait for the Aussies to man up because the ball can get brought back in.
8 points last week on debut, Ryan O'Keefe, and he misses. It's only a behind. Australia by 2, 5 minutes into the second quarter.
Work hard here to try and win the ball back. Irish going to work, and it's nice movement.
McVeigh's kicking from goal, finds Dua.
Yeah, it's been a hectic pace, Brian and Dwayne, this first quarter and a bit. It's just whether they can maintain it, both sides, I guess.
Won 2 All-Ireland titles in 3 years as Brian Dua. His kick not so good, gobbled up now by McLeod, and the Australians on the attack again. The Irish aren't doing a lot of attacking this game. Newman, fast hands, looking for the run-through from McLeod. Look at the skills of this man. Fantastic. Ball to Morris. It was bounced back. The Irish work hard. Gilby put his head over the ball and had a crack at it. Newman won it out. Well done, Lindsay Gilby. Brilliant play in the middle to set the Australians up. Here's Deledio, the young superstar from Richmond. Back to Gian Syracuse. His kick finds Eagleton. But a free kick off the
down
ball.
ground, right down towards the goals.
You've got his jumper. You've got your holes. You've got all your arms around his jumper. Thank you.
Okay, so that's a kick to Australia.
Go right around then.
Against Anthony Lynch.
Thank you.
Nick Davis will line it up and make it the third consecutive score in this quarter for Australia. Davis with an over, a three-pointer.
The Aussies are putting it to the Irish right now, Brian. Whether they can respond or not remains to be seen. They've been brave and competitive. They're working hard. But right now, they're just turning the screws, the Aussies.
Oh, nearly a bad kick in. A hold. And
Shagger just dragged his jumper, mate.
Ewan McManus will get the free.
Thank you, Lynn. Go now,
This is
Lynn.
Australia's biggest lead of the night, 5 points.
Thank you.
Another dodgy Michael McVeigh kick in.
You heard the call of leave him alone, Shagger. That's Shannon Grant being called that by our umpire. Back to Mickey McVeigh, the goalkeeper.
Yeah. No, back here.
Now it's a free kick again off the ball.
Don't do it.
So Matthew Allen's having a fair influence on this game at the moment, just trying to get some order.
Only a niggle off the footy here. That's what the free kick is for.
Okay.
Been plenty of that happening all around the ground.
So it comes back to Lynch and he takes it on the defensive 45.
The Australians are ready for that. Eagleton need to get rid of the ball quickly. Couldn't quite do it. Too high. Australian ball. Took a bit of a swing forward as he was going down. In the meantime, the Aussies are away through Eagleton. High ball down there. Over the head of Davis. O'Keefe, man in front.
Man in front.
There it is.
Man in front.
Matthew James, and the Irish wouldn't be used to that rule, surely.
No, that is going to annoy. You can imagine the Irish commentators right now, Brian. They would be absolutely fuming, but no. Ryan O'Keefe had first purchase on that, clearly.
So he will line up. O'Keefe from the 20 sends another over for Australia. They're doing all the scoring in this second half to bust the game wide open.
That was a good call, that.
A great decision.
Tom Kelly's hands were over the top of O'Keefe's hands.
6 inside 20s to 1 this quarter, Australia's way, 42 to 27 disposals. They have dominated the early part of this second quarter.
Gornogo Halpin and Mickey McVeigh combining to get the ball outside their defensive 20. This is Sean Martin Lockhart.
The reason they're dominating is the pressure through the middle of the ground. They just cannot penetrate their half-forward line or centre line. The Aussies have just closed everything down.
Buchanan outmarked Desi Dolan. Goes to Milburn. Sold the dummy. Gets around Ford. Now Crode. And now back to Buchanan. They've worked it nicely through the corridor to Milburn. He's got a man out wide. It's Deledio. He spotted him. He hit him. Deledio tries to shrug the tackle. Takes them on. Gives to Davey. Goose steps. Runs a little further. And has a shot at the over. That's why they picked him.
I tell you, the Irish look like they've fired their best shot, boys. They look slow again. They look like they're tiring and can't run with this Australian team.
There is the finish by Davey. Fantastic. And I noticed the Australian bench are all standing. The Irish bench sitting at the moment. They're excited about the way they're playing over the last 15 minutes. Once again, the goalkeeper McVeigh with a kick that was a little iffy. McManus trying to tidy it up. They're under enormous pressure. The kick comes wide. Once again, it comes out towards McManus. He gets it further afield, and away they go through Lynch. Lynch, a nice ball, finds Doolan. Doolan turns around, took a bounce. He's got one more bounce left if he wants. He goes the high ball. There's a scuffle off the ball. Oh, Milburn sat an Irish player down as well. They are being mauled here at the moment. The kick inboard by Joyce, picked up at the end by the Irish. Gooch, there he is, the Gooch! Do something, Gooch! Couldn't get it done.
I
tell you what, Anthony Lynch has just worn one of Darren Milburn's best ever. See if we've got that on replay. Milburn's got the ball at full back.
Well, it's
Here we
the
go.
first one. Nothing in that.
Nothing in that?
Nothing in that.
Okay. Milburn again. That's legal in this competition, Garry?
No
you have
punch.
coached for a while.
No punch.
Harvey to Fletcher. Not a free kick, though.
No,
it's on
not
again
a free.
between them behind play. The Gooch and Milburn, and it's out too wide. And it'll be an Ireland ball.
Would have been appropriate, but they didn't see it. I think he may have instigated it, by the way, young Lynch. And full credit to the Irish boys. They're trying to stand up here. They just can't seem to generate enough scoring opportunities at the moment. The other thing is they're trying to get the free man going by getting McVeigh free, but I'm not sure he's the man you want the ball in the hands of.
But coach Pete McGrath looks like he wants to come on and play. I thought he was for a minute. Grant. Gee, they're just turning the ball over, the Irish. Buchanan says, I can take you on, and did. Handball in front of Crode. Got the glistening thighs, and this handball over the top, not a good one. Here they go. The Irish. Jordan was Copenhagen. The Irish won't like that. It's on. Chris Johnson's coming and fouled him. The Irish are there in numbers. McManus is going to go them. Johnson says, I'll have you. Look at them come in from everywhere here. And Collins is going to send Johnson off.
I reckon Chris Johnson didn't miss. He
Look
did
at
not miss.
Michael Collins has sent Johnson. Pointed him the red card to the bench.
Look at the Irish. Two of the Irish boys are in the hands of the trainers on the ground. I reckon they might be Chris Johnson's scalps. There's one. Now that is a red card and that deserves a penalty. But stand by for number 2 shortly after. This is the replay of that.
Is this going to send the Irish media into a frenzy?
Well, the trouble is, Chris Johnson gets set off, but they don't have to play a man short, Australia. They can just replace him.
There's the next one right there. So we're 1-2 from Chris Johnson.
And he went for a third.
Yeah, he said, well, I'm going off, so I might as well get my money's worth. And that's not what you want to see.
Well, he's the captain tonight, Chris Johnson.
That's not what it's about. Some good, hard play. We saw the Robertson thing last week, but I'm not sure that's going to be well received. Chris Johnson would know, I think, when he looks back at that.
So you're prepared to concede that was over the top, Garry?
Don't be smart, Bagpipe, otherwise I'll get agitated. I might come and give you one.
Pete McGrath, just taking a look at him. There he is, the coach. He is absolutely fuming about the tactics employed by Australia here. Look at him there. He's just about ready to go on and take the game on himself.
Well, it'll be interesting now. We'll see what happens the next 5 minutes. Some leadership needed by all concerned out there.
McDonald goes long. We'll see if the spot fires. Benny Calder tries to toe poke it to his advantage. He did pretty well. Milburn slapped it out to Gian Syracuse. Benny Calder had no help. Hodge runs into Benny Calder. Handball to Gian Syracuse. Back to Milburn. Back to Crode. All the way back to the open side. They've done beautifully. Morris, Fletcher, Gilby to the open back pocket. Over the top of the handball. Deledio wants to take on Dewar. And he did take him on. Gilby. Tackle laid. The Irish are back in this one. Umpire might sort it out for the 3 to Ireland.
Throw up. Had no time to play it.
It's on again here.
Okay, throw up, lads.
Throw up.
Blood.
Michael Collins, the Irish umpire, says it's a throw up. And there is Pete McGrath, the Irish coach.
Have a look at Hodge here.
Well, some cool heads need to prevail here. I tell you, the Irish pressure then was outstanding. It started in this pocket. They were outnumbered. Calder was outnumbered, but they kept at it and they've locked the ball in their forward line. Just reiterating, Chris Johnson, they can replace him, but he's red carded, cannot come back onto the ground.
For the rest of the game?
For the rest of the game.
Okay. Now, Australia have done all the scoring in this quarter. 5 scoring shots to Ireland, none. McLeod out of trouble. Gian Syracuse, the run through the middle, could have gone with a handball, ignored it. Now McLeod is playing the linking role and doing extremely well at the moment. Here they go once again. There's Morris, kicked it out in front of O'Keefe. O'Keefe tries to shake the tackle, and a free kick will go the way of the Australians for a high tackle. O'Keefe sends it inboard, looking there for Waite, couldn't quite get on the end of it. Davey had trouble picking the ball up. McDonald, he was stripped of it before he even realised he had it, and O'Keefe had a shot at goal. That is O'Keefe's 3rd scoring shot of the quarter.
He's been a star. Ryan O'Keefe, been an absolute star in this quarter for the Aussies, the go-to man.
Australia led by 17 points at half-time last week as Mickey McVeigh kicks in. And we're about 5.5 minutes from half-time this week. This is the Tyrone captain.
Yeah, look, pressure. The pressure's telling.
Ryan Lewis turned it over. The Tyrone Premiership captain A little 1-2 here between Buchanan and his Sydney Swan teammate Nick Davis. They might go for the 9. No.
Play on.
Off the post. And a chance here for O'Keefe. Slaps it back to Waite, playing his first international. Chips it high into the hot spot. And McDonald gets back. And McDonald, they need him to have an input. Gerald Waite's a little hurt off the ball.
We've got 5 minutes to go in the half here. The Irish, they need to start the score. The skipper there was leading for the ball, couldn't get hold of it. That's an Australian ball.
That's the key now, Brian, for the Irish. They need to be able to start to put some scores on the board. Otherwise, this Australian team will continue to grind them into the dirt.
Look at the Irish coaching staff there now on their feet on the sidelines, getting involved in the game. Fletcher, as he's so often been used, when in trouble, just go backwards to the man in orange, Dustin Fletcher, who's done a great job. Here's Troy Makepeace, his first game of international rules as well, included in the side this week after missing out last week. Forward line picked up on the Grant handball, clever it was. Handball over the top from Makepeace. Free kick, Ireland.
Watch the Australians react and get back very, very quickly, where the Irish are a bit slow to recover their positions. And that's where the fitness element's going to come into it.
Tom Kelly, carpenter is his job. He, as all these Irish players are, just amateur footballers. Mickey McVeigh.
Let's see, now the Aussies are happy for McVeigh to get the footy.
Oh, and off the hands of Sean Martin Lockhart. Game number 13 for him, and he fumbles, and Crody's not happy.
Crode having a go at the Irish water boy.
There's some anger around.
Going to be some
fun, though.
Anyone's fair game here tonight.
Going to be some review, Bryce. Don't you go down.
Hope they don't come up here and pick on me next.
Right. Just stay between Garry and myself if you can, Brian.
Now back to the game, 13 points. It's just at such a critical stage. The Aussies were to score a couple more times in the last 3 minutes. Gee, it's going to be hard for the Irish to get back.
Darren Milburn. That's what he has in front of him. Goes for the 3 points for the over, and he's hit it pretty well. Brings it back, and he has missed. Only a behind. And the Irish breathe a sigh of relief. You can see there a little chat between Ryan McMenamin and his coach, Pete McGrath. They've got 3 minutes to half-time when they can regroup.
Look at Macca.
Australia by 14 points. Look, the kick in. And Canty, the former captain, dropped the mark. Although McVeigh put him under pressure. He goes back to Dewar. Another experienced man, as we said, the premiership captain this year. He goes inboard, and Tom Kelly takes the mark for Ireland.
So what have we got? Just under 3 minutes remaining in this first half. Ireland has only scored the 1 point in this quarter of football after a blistering start. They have tailed off somewhat. This looks promising, though. Coulter, if he can keep the ball in play. He does. He needs some support. Where is it? He takes on one Aussie. Morris down. And that's dropping the ball.
Morris, what a great chase and recover.
It was indeed. Now Lappin has done a lot of work in this game so far. Looks back for running support. Found Deledio. Clever pickup, wasn't it? Round the body to Crode. Crode, the big man, the biggest man in the Australian team other than Fletcher. And Milburn kept it alive to McLeod. He strolls over the halfway line. Inside the 45. 30 metres out. Centering ball. Love it. Turns around. Wants to play on. Goes for the over. The Aussies finishing strongly in the second half, in the second quarter.
The fitness is telling. The hard running of the Aussies is just and this turnover from fullback, they need to address this straight away, the Irish. It puts their teammates under too much pressure. They can't get scoring opportunities, and all of a sudden their defenders are back under pressure.
Gary, you were surprised the goalkeeper got a game after last week.
I was, and for that very reason, his goalkeeping's fine, but it's more than that this game, and his turnovers have been critical again, Michael McVeigh.
They were 17 points down at half-time last week, the Irish. They're 17 points down now with a minute to half-time.
The Aussies will take that, I reckon. Although that won't help.
Trying to milk the clock, but they messed it up. The Aussies, Lappin couldn't get there. So the Irish have one last chance. Canty slips a handball forward. This is a chance for Munnelly. High kick from his boot, but it's wide. And it's only a behind.
A long time between scores here. Pete McGrath, be interesting. Just stand by for half-time. Just let's see what unfolds at half-time.
Well, the clock says just under 30 seconds remaining, but I've had a bit of injury time and a bit of disruption of the game with fight stoppage, etc. So the umpires are allowed to add time, so it may well go over the 20-minute mark here. Keep an eye on it. The Australians applying the pressure. The Irish go the soccer tactics. Here they go. Munnelly has another shot at goal this time. may have scored the over. He has. So that's the first over of the second quarter for the Irish.
An important score for their confidence too, I would have thought. I mean, just to get it back, if they can score perhaps one more time, then they may still think they're a chance.
Australia has never won both games of a series. They've been on the bad end of a couple of whitewashes. Ireland won both games last year.
In injury time now, so there may be another minute and a half or 2 minutes after the brawl.
The Aussies have never had a clean sweep of a series as the kick in is long from Melbourne over the top, and it rolls toward the line, and it'll be an Ireland ball.
They've got another shot, so that's what they wanted, to win the ball back.
O'Halpin chips it. Had a bit of an influence, Ross Munnelly.
He has.
Haven't seen the gooch at all, that's what we haven't seen.
There's McDonald, their blonde superstar. Sideways the ball, got rid of it quickly, didn't he? Jordan was involved, a new man in the team. They go forward once again. McMenamin kicked it. Fletcher's there to cut it off. Could have been a free kick, penalty against Morris, but umpire said no. Now Fletcher will come forward. We've played almost 21 minutes, so the umpires have added a bit of time here. Here's the man that got it all stirred up at the start, McMenamin, the enforcer. Look, he received this ball. They'll come at him. Waite wanted to take him on. McMenamin brushes him aside. Right in front of McGrath. And Pete McGrath's had a go at him. Look at the coach getting involved here.
Now this is where they're going to be careful.
They have to be careful, all right, Garry. It's getting out of hand a little bit. Long kick towards goal, and it's way wide.
When you got the bat, when the coaches and just stand by here now, the coaches and everyone involved very close to the action down there, and we don't want to see this thing spill over right now. Just some cool heads. Head to the respective rooms. Take some deep breaths, or they wait. McMenamin.
Yeah. Now look at
taking a backward step. Jared
Healy in there, and he's protecting the game's interest there, Jared.
No doubt about that, Brian. No doubt whatsoever. It's good to see. He's a passionate supporter. And this is just on the precipice of perhaps tipping over the wrong way, where we don't want it to go.
Half-time siren might have come just at the right time.
Boy, emotions are high here, Garry, and the crowd is totally absorbed in what is going on.
No doubt about it. Andrew McLeod now, who the co-captain will take over. Just repeating, Chris Johnson being red-carded, not allowed to back on for the remainder of the game. Kevin Sheedy now just gathering his troops. The Australians played a terrific quarter of international rules to get themselves back in front. Just wonder what the message there is. Maintain the pressure, I reckon. Play the way that they did last week. And you reckon that for the first time a clean sweep might be coming the Aussies' way. The Irish players head to their huddle. They will have been stung into action. A couple of mates pretty sore and sorry. So let's see what happens. It's an intriguing situation right now. Don't leave us. A big second half of international rules coming up. It's the Aussies by 13 points.
Welcome back to the Telstra Dome International Rules Test number 2. It is electric here at the Telstra Dome. We've had pitch invasions at half-time on the back of a massive half of footy that involved red cards and little spot fires everywhere. In between all that, we've had some pretty good international rules. It is 13 points to margin, courtesy of a 20-5 second quarter in favour of the Aussies. They got the ascendancy, Dwayne Russell, but it's just only part of the story. It did look one stage look like it was going to spill over.
Hey, we've got another half to go, Garry. It could still spill over yet, because this first half, well, it was harder and tougher and stronger than I've ever seen football played.
Well, the first quarter, there wasn't anything real vicious. I just think the Irish stood their ground and they gave as good as they received. They stood up to the Aussies. They weren't going to be intimidated. They flagged that all year. There were some late tackles and, a bit of push and shove. It wasn't too bad, but as we'll see shortly, it was after the second quarter.
Well, I suppose people need to understand that the Irish don't have tackling in their game, so this level of body contact is foreign to them.
Yep.
And I don't think their bodies are quite used to the knocks
as the Australian bodies are.
That's right, and it's the psyche of the Irish as well. I mean, they take exception to some of the late dumping from last week, whereas we tend to think, well, that's part and parcel of the game, and they would be a touch horrified at what's happened in this first half, to be honest. And I think we'd all agree, and I think Chris Johnson would as well, that he did step over the line. He was red carded for this incident that we're about to see, and this is not what we want to see in the international rules. I mean, I'm sure, and I know Chris well, he'd like his time again. And
he should have went low there. He should have went to the stomach and tried to do the tackle, but he went high. It was a split-second decision. He made the wrong one. He's captain of the team, and then he took another one out.
He followed up after that. One stage looked like he was going to give Aaron Davey one. He was just looking for someone to vent his frustration, and that was it. Right at that stage, with the benches on the ground, it was potentially an ugly situation.
It was, and the thing, unfortunately for the Irish, not only with the injuries, the players going down, is that Australia only have to replace Johnson, so they're still playing with a full complement of players. They don't have to play a man down, and also, Ireland didn't get a penalty out of that red card, they just got the free kick.
You're right, it's something I think they could look at. A yellow card replace, a red card not to be replaced. But look, the first quarter, the Aussies this is what we didn't see last week in Perth, was their turnovers, they're kicking the ball out of bounds, in which case the opposition get the ball back, missed opportunities in front of goal. They would have drilled these last week every single time, and a lot of that was due to the pressure of the Irish.
It was, and whether or not the amateur Irish can maintain that kind of speed that they kept up in the first term is the question we've been asking ourselves all along, and unfortunately they couldn't quite maintain that hard-running momentum in the second term.
That is the big query, because it was frantic. As the game wore on halfway through the first quarter and into the second quarter, the hard running of the Aussies, I just looked back down the field and the Irish boys were slowly picking themselves up, and the ascendancy was won at that stage. This sort of running through the midfield, chasing tail takes it out of you, as you know, Dwayne, and Eamon Buchanan on this occasion just found the target.
Well, the Aussies are prepared to back themselves in to not turn the ball over by hand. They know that occasionally in past tests they've turned the ball over by foot, so they run in threes and fours and just handball, and they kind of know they're not going to get caught out on the rebound.
Ryan O'Keefe being the star, that's for sure. He kicked 10 points in that first half. Nick Davis kicked 6. Munnelly for the Irish kicked 7. There's Aaron Davey, just some beautiful skills, and the pressure once again took them a while, but they won the ball back, and out of defence the Irish have been under pressure every single time.
Massive crowd in here, Garry, and they have been riveted to their seats for the whole first half, and I tell you what, they cannot wait to get this second half underway.
I've got to say, I'm looking forward to it as well. I'm looking forward to seeing how well the Aussies settle and how the Irish respond and react. 13 points, it's not insurmountable. The job's in front of the Irish boys, no doubt about that. Dwayne, get over and cool Brian down and just take a couple of deep breaths. We'll take a break. 13 points in favour of the Aussies. The assistant coach, Danny Fawley, to join us after the break. Welcome back to the Telstra Dome. Big crowd in. The Aussies trailed at quarter time by 2 points, but 20 points to 5 in that second quarter has them 13 points in front. You would say the series is safe. Whether or not Ireland can hit back in the second half and regain some pride and win a test match remains to be seen. It was an electric half of footy, physical and a little violent, to be honest. Let's go down to the Aussie rooms where the assistant coach Danny Fawley joins us. Spud, you got your nose back in front, but you're trailing at quarter time. The Irish boys certainly came out pretty fired up.
Look, we expected that, Garry, and look, to the Irish's credit, they came out and put a lot of pressure on us. I think the first quarter we probably overused the ball by feet too much. Last week we really ran the ball out by hands, but you've got to give credit where it's due, because the pressure the Irish put on us enabled us to turn it over, which was disappointing. But I thought the boys knuckled down in the second quarter and just played with a little bit more composure. Probably got an extra couple of numbers back to help and support our defence and just settle down a little bit.
I'm not sure knuckle down's the absolute right term of phrase at the moment, because there are a couple of incidents there, particularly in that second quarter, which I don't think too many people that support the concept would have enjoyed. What was the reaction of, we saw Jared Healy very vocal at half-time, and perhaps Kevin Sheedy as they went to the rooms?
Yeah, look, it was disappointing, Garry. We don't want to see that. And Jared just talked about remaining disciplined. We don't need anyone else sitting on the bench for the rest of the game, because one of the things that really helped us last week was our interchange. And look, Chris would be the first to admit what probably wasn't played in the best spirits there. So look, probably the less said about it from my point of view, the better. We've just got a game of football to win now and worry about those instances after the game, and we don't want to see that. And look, to the Irish's credit, they just got knuckled down and played some good football at the end of that quarter, so we're going to be on our mettle at the start of the third.
No doubt about that. I think 13 points, there was looked at one stage during that second quarter it may have opened up beyond 20, but I just thought the last 3 or 4 minutes they did regain a bit of composure, so the job's still ahead to win the test.
Look, it certainly is, Garry, and I think the importance of this first 10 minutes of the third quarter, we talk about it in AFL football, the premiership quarter, but this quarter is super important to maintain our intensity. I thought our tackling and chasing in the first quarter probably wasn't where it should be, but the second quarter we really lifted our work rate. We had extra numbers around the ball, which is super important in this game because we know the Irish use it well, and I just thought our ability to support our teammate in that quarter was a hell of a lot better.
Good on you, Danny. Appreciate your time. Though it's a pretty quick half-time. Good luck for the second half.
Cheers, guys.
It is the Aussies who hold sway by 13 points. The buzz before half-time was quite unbelievable. Let's see what unfolds in the second half. A break, 13 points in favour of the Aussies.
Well, there's a very big healthy crowd here for this second international rules test between Australia and Ireland, but this bizarre game continues, boys. The Irish team have been out after the half-time huddle for the best part of 4.5 minutes, I reckon.
Australians still not here, Garry.
Just emerging now. The Irish boys been in their positions, as I say, for quite some time. Not sure if that was a tactic of Kevin Cheedy's.
This will further infuriate the Irish. Pete McGrath, he looks like a man on a mission as he walked back out, and to have to wait nearly 5 minutes for the Australians to come out after the designated time. Matthew James, the field umpire, now going over to them and saying, come on, boys, you're laid out, get on with it.
Yeah, and the other bizarre thing is the Irish interchange players go and sit. They sat on the bench. They have not moved for 5 minutes. They haven't been up, they haven't had a jog, they haven't had a stretch. Pete McGrath, he is bemused, this man, the coach of Ireland. Let's go down to Tony Jones, who's been in amongst it all. TJ.
Yes, well, I can tell you the half-time here, it was pretty exciting as Lee Freedman and Damien Oliver did a bit of a lap of honour in the back of the ute there. And, of course, Damien Oliver's been out for 7 months now with that back injury, so he's really missing the Spring Carnival. But Lee Freedman, very much the man of the moment. Tomorrow morning at Mornington, Makybe Diva will gallop with a stablemate, and a decision will be made after that, probably at around about 6 a.m. for you early birds. And we'll find out then whether, in fact, Makybe Diva will have a tilt at a third Melbourne Cup. But, of course, for the Irish viewers, Vinnie Rose out here again, and he might just cause a bit of an upset as well.
So Kavanagh and Canty in the middle for the ball up for Ireland. And again, Hodge and McLeod combined for Australia. Gian Syracuse, short pass back to Hodge. Only 2 allowed in that centre square for the ball up from either team. Hodge loops it back to Gian Syracuse. He was a star last week. Gian Syracuse back to McLeod, whose father's Scottish, Jock McLeod. He's got a little bit of it in his heritage, and he goes wide. And the mark taken by Lappin.
Well, I've got no doubt that the Australians would have been told just to get back to the job of playing good international rules footy. Win the hard ball, get the pressure up, chase the tackle down, turn the footy over, and take your opportunities. They do that, they win.
The 19th possession here for Matty Lappin, and that's another over for Australia.
He's been a star, Matthew Lappin. He's a very, very good player to be out of contract, that's for sure.
He has been superb in this game, in particular. McVeigh with the iffy kick in has gone short and found his man there.
Won't worry the Aussies right now.
Here he is again, forced this time to run and bounce the ball, and just sends it long over the middle line. They fly well to spoil that occasion. Kavanagh got involved, kicked the ball forward. Milburn gets back, absorbs everything that comes at him. Finds Eagleton. He's got a player loose in Deledio and also over the top in Hodge. Now Hodge can go forward. They've got runners through the midfield here in Australia. The Deledio's one of them, marked strongly above his head. Plays on. Gene Siracusa from the 45. Kicks ball inboard. And this time it has been cut off on that occasion by Philip Jordan.
Yes, father also a Tyrone star. That's where he plays his footy, Philip Jordan. Premiership player this year. So he needs to lift his game as well. Back again. High, long kick.
Free kick.
And there's a free kick. Ronan Clark was the man he was aiming for. And Ronan Clark might take it downfield.
Kevin Sheedy on the boundary, coaching for the boundary, pushing his numbers back. Trent Crode, he's yelling out to get deep into defence.
Well, he coached from the boundary last week, and I noticed Pete McGrath, the Irish coach, decided to come down ground level this week as well, Dwayne.
Keep coming back.
I saw Chris Johnson on the bench there. He's not allowed back on, but Australia not playing a man down. So this is Ronan Clark, All-Ireland champion for Armagh in 2002 when he won the Young Player of the Year award. He scored 11 points at Subiaco last week and is a known scorer as well. And he gets it back with the 1-2. Now Clark, left foot kick, hits the post. Almost play on and almost 6 points, but it came off the post and through for an over. 3 points to Ronan Clark.
The Aussies, Fletcher, poor kick in, marked by Anthony Lynch. Plays on immediately. They need to play on at all costs, the Irish. Dua got it over the top there towards Jordan. Goes wide.
When they looked most dangerous, wasn't it, early in the game when they had plenty of run in their legs. They moved the ball quickly. They were able to sneak in behind the Australian defence. As the game wore on, they got slower, weren't able to expose them. So this is their best chance of scoring here early in the quarter.
Desi Dolan, experienced campaigner in his 8th international game. This one from inside the 45 is long but offline. And a minor score for the Irish.
Desi Dolan from Westmeath. Haven't had a lot of success in recent years.
Now they covered this one a lot better, the Irish. They went off to Dustin Fletcher, didn't allow him to run off on his own.
Milburn. The cat goes wide to Harvey. He's on the defensive 13. He's been corralled by Desi Dolan.
It's on the middle.
It's on again. It is on big time again.
Hodge. Now one of the players, Hodge, said he kicked me.
Here we go.
We need to see a replay of this, but I get the feeling that Hodge, who I've never seen retaliate like that, this is now an all-in. There's punches being bowled everywhere. Kavanagh's involved. Deledio's there. Every umpire on the field is there at the moment, with the exception of the goal umpires. I heard one of the players say he kicked me.
And the 24 with the third man in. 24 for Australia. Third man in. 24.
They're saying that Trent Crode with the third man in.
Who's 24?
Gee whiz. I think there might have been a third man in before he got there, but...
Well, look, I've never seen Luke Hodge react that sort of way, Garry, without some sort of involvement from the opposing side.
Yes, well, Luke Hodge and Kieran McManus were the two players that's where this started from. It looks like Trent Crode's going to be yellow carded as a third man in.
The ball.
The ball is going to go to the Irish, it would appear. Crode being sent to the bench, he can be replaced. And that's about it after all that.
McManus was fouled. He must take the free. Kieran McManus was fouled. And the free is here.
McManus taking the free.
There it is from umpire Michael Collins, Kieran McManus.
A bit of work going on in the goal square too, Bryza. Watch for this.
We thought
Milburn coming in.
McManus goes for the over. It's there, it's long, it's through. It's an over for McManus. Just watch it, it's about to erupt here at the moment to get the feeling. The crowd are getting angry, the players are getting angry, and we may see. That is why Luke Hodge went and did what he did.
As far as this game on, they're only 9 points down.
It's on 9 play. It is on a big way. And Dustin Fletcher has left the goals and he has sprinted out. Don't worry about that. Something's happened there.
So there's an umpire, one with the blue.
The game goes on, mate.
Lappin's been tackled in the meantime and dumped.
Release the ball.
Don't worry, Dad. Something's happened down here that has infuriated Dustin Fletcher to the point where he left the goal square. I'm not sure it was that. Anyway,
well, let's
get back to the game.
Clark. Now, Ireland have got the ball on their defensive 45. This is McManus. They're just looping it around the Lynch. Back again. The 1-2's worked pretty well. They got it to Brian Cullen. Now across the midline. Handball is good to the X. Well, have a look, it's on again here. Kavanagh got it forward. And once again there's a spot fire. And Milburn's in the middle of it. We'll listen to the umpire.
There's a blood rule too.
Coming from the mouth.
So that is Ronan Clark is going off the blood rule.
Treat him off the field, please.
We like a bit of physicality in our game, but this has just gone. It's toppled over Tony Jones.
Yeah, well, one runner's not enough for Kevin Sheedy at this point. He came over to his training staff there in Medicos, told him to get out there and just spread the word to all the Australian players just to cool it.
And Darren Milburn's just put the runner on his backside here. It's Peter German. He's been fired up, Milburn, from the word go.
Well, this is the man that knocked back the Brisbane Lions, Sean Kavanagh, for the over, and Ireland are coming back.
The point.
Only the 1 point, Garry.
Last 4 scoring shots go the Irish way, though, Garry.
Yeah, they do. The Aussies just play ball. I reckon the Irish boys have said enough's enough. We're going to give as good as we've got, and that's why there's been these reactions. Well, let's concentrate on the footy here.
There goes McLeod with a blistering run through the midfield. Little poker to O'Keefe, shakes the tackler off. Now he'll peel around on his left boot. High ball. Davies under it. Can he mark it? No. Now the crummers come in. Cullen for the Irish side. Works it backwards. Got the numbers here as they try and move the ball through the midfield. It comes to McMenamin. The umpire went over behind the play. The enforcer bangs it long, trying to mark the ball kilter. He was the one dragged and ragdolled by Fletcher a moment ago. Watch Coulter go at him. There it is. Coulter and Fletcher go at each other. A little bit of an even up there. Boy, is this game hotted up now. Has Munnelly got the ball out wide. The Irish go in. The Aussies put their head over the ball through Morris.
Milburn takes another one out.
Takes them on. Boot on ball. Long ball forward will be marked by Kelly.
Now, Darren Milburn, he shepherded a player off the ball back there. Should have been a free kick to Ireland back within scoring range here. So the umpires have got to get control right now.
Kelly to Lynch. It's trying to work it around the Irish. Cullen on defensive 45. Looks up, hoping for, sort of finding McManus. He did find him, and they've worked it beautifully. Slick handball to Heaney. He runs toward the 45. A little fumble. The ball's turned over. Munnelly messed it up. Australia on the rebound. Newman goes at it with Kelly. Kelly picks it up. Does he? No. He sockers it back to the goalkeeper. And Mickey McVeigh picks it up. And they can reload. Munnelly. He goes wide, hoping for it. Finding McMenamin. And the enforcer runs the line. Has a bounce. Davies chasing him. Gets a slick chip kick. Finds the captain, Podrick Joyce. Hasn't done a lot tonight. That pass is good. And a diving mark to Benny Coulter. Best on ground last week. Trying to play his team back into contention tonight.
Well, they've enjoyed their best probably since the opening 5 minutes. There's the collision between Ryan O'Keefe and the umpire. Nothing untoward in that, although in Australian rules that to be looked at. Here's Coulter's kick.
Big kick. This hits the post. It's play on, but it's out. Through for a behind.
Bad miss. Coulter's first score too.
Yes, he's averaged 8 points a game, Benny Coulter, in his 6 games that he's played for Ireland, but hasn't had a big one in front of goal tonight.
Scored the last 9 points of this game, the Irish, and here they go again. There's McMenamin trying to keep the ball alive for the Irish, not successful in doing so, and O'Keefe says, OK, boys, just settle it down a bit now.
Heaney's gone on to O'Keefe, and he's been OK, David Heaney.
There's the look at what Pete McGrath sees from the boundary line. Both coaches coaching from the boundary line. Bench is on the opposite side to where they normally are at this stadium as Shannon Grant takes a mark forward.
Now, this will be indicative of where this game's at. Coulter plays with a round ball all his life, is a goal scorer, beautifully skilled, misses from a similar position. Now Shannon Grant gets an opportunity.
Grant will line up for the over. Worth 3 points in this international game. We'll just get there. Goalkeeper was protecting the under, and the over by Grant is through.
Well, that is what would infuriate Irish people sitting back home, I would imagine.
All-Australian this year too, Shannon Grant has had a good season, 237 AFL games he's played, and once again the Irish have trouble getting it out of defence. Tom Kelly looks a handball. Oh, he missed the target. Dewar missed it completely, and now it's a chance for Hodge. Goes wide, Davis, McLeod sold the dummy to McDonald, goes back to Hodge, and the short pass just travels a required 15. Hodge might have a shot.
Shake of the head of Pete McGrath, I reckon would be directed at Brian Dewar. Dewar didn't run straight. He tried to run around the foot. He saw Luke Hodge coming at him, and Well, he squibbed it, I'm afraid.
He'd be delirious, Pete McGrath, is shaking his head that often. Now Hodge lines up. It's a spray kick across the face, and it's out of bounds on the full by the Hawthorn star. There is Pete McGrath.
The last 8 minutes, disposals 36-10 to Ireland's way. So they are starting to gain plenty of the ball, but they are not scoring the way they should. This was the same as the first half, as McVeigh finally gets rid of it. It's a dangerous thing when he hangs onto the ball for any length of time, Garry. Through the middle, give it to these men in the middle because they are more adept at using the ball quite brilliantly. McMenamin, there he is, the enforcer. Look at him, hasn't he thrown a different situation into this game? Handball by Kavanagh, comes back to Kavanagh on the left boot. He'll look for the over, took a bounce, set it on its way, got bowled over and he kicked it. And he gets up and says, look, I got the over to Andrew Lovett, and gives him a bit to go on with as well.
They're going okay, the Irish here. They are going all right. He did kick the goal, hip and shoulder from Lovett. I reckon the ball might have been out. But
back to 7 points. McMenamin, who's had an influence, didn't play last week when they were thrashed. That was to Jordan. He gets it towards half forward. Slap on by Canty, but it's cut off. Oh, big hip and shoulder behind play. And McLeod's put a player down, and it's an Ireland ball. And Canty's on his backside. Dwayne Canty, the former captain.
I was watching that. Umpire Michael Collins is totally wrong on that one. There was nothing wrong with that at all. That is a Irish decision if I've ever seen one.
No, it's a poor decision. Andrew McLeod was standing his ground, and I reckon he caught it out the corner of his eye, the umpire. And Andrew McLeod's a good leadership here. He's getting on with the job.
Graham Canty for the over. If he gets the over, it's back to a 4-point lead. He goes with the long launch. It's offline, and it's only behind. Graham Canty from County Cork. This is his 10th international for Ireland. He captained the last series here to Australia, and he needs to kick them straighter than that.
Australia looking for their first ever win here in Melbourne. Grant, the Irish player in Heaney, doing well to get involved then, and it'll be an Irish ball.
Yeah, right, if I can just take a bit of a deep breath there.
Go away. Go away. Straight. So it's Ireland ball. Go away.
Ireland ball.
Go.
I think we're saying it's an Ireland ball.
Has it come off Australia? Ireland ball.
There you go. Your man, the Gooch, is about to come on, Brian. Now, I don't want to put too much pressure on him, but you've talked him up.
It's a bit late now.
And you've talked him up. Well, he hasn't fired a shot.
You gave me the rap on him from last year, Garry. I am, at this moment, going to officially bail out of the Gooch as fan club. Here goes Kavanagh, the big man for Ireland. They keep it alive. It comes out wide to Joyce. Joyce needs to get involved in the game and do something as captain. Perhaps the legs are aging a little as the ball comes wide to Lappin. Little give finds Grant right on the 45 line for Australia. Harvey, the lead-up player, finds and marks within range.
I think you're right on Podrick Joyce. It does look like the pace of this game now might have gone past the veteran.
Harvey, short ball in the pocket. It has been stolen back. McMenamin.
McMenamin short-ish towards the wing, and the mark taken by the captain, Podrick Joyce. Gets a long launch of the ball. The Gooch has fallen over. Now it's fallen over again. This Telstra Dome turf is better now than it's been all year, and he's still slipping. Fletcher wide with the handball. Deledio, who won the AFL sprint, used his pace there, gave it to Lappin, has a bounce. Raymond Buchanan can have a shot. He goes for a pass option. Gilby, can he get there? Yes. Got it on the 20, tucked into the line. Short pass is okay. Tom Kelly's fifth perfect. And then Tom Kelly goes in high. And it'll be a free kick to Lindsay Gilby of Australia.
It's good defence by Kelly. He just then collected Gilby around the neck there for a free kick. He can take this back out to the 20 if he wants.
Thank you, Sean.
Tough kick for Lindsay Gilby. Made his international debut last week and had 21 disposals. He was magnificent. He lines this up for the 3 points, and he misses to the near side. Australia's lead out to 8 with 4 minutes to three-quarter time. It's out to 7.
The Gooch came on and fell over twice, Bryzer, and now they've taken him off.
Well, I think he is done officially, the Gooch.
Oh, there he goes.
Certainly with me he is. McMenamin. be happy if I don't see him on the ground again, I think. He's embarrassed me, Dwayne. This is McDonald, who is normally a very good kick of the ball. That one, not so good.
He wasn't that keen to play it last year. That's why he didn't play. They didn't pick him because he wasn't that keen. Colm Cooper is his real name. He plays for Kerry.
Well, he's the best Gaelic footballer currently going around in Ireland.
Say he will be, but look, I think this game has just been an eye-opener for him. It's been too quick and he hasn't got the strength to compete.
Harvey. Gilby looking for body position, did really well. Kavanagh.
Did, didn't he?
Indeed. Got the ball forward to McMenamin. He gives it over the top to Dua. Then stripped of the ball by the Aussies. Waite had it taken out of his hands. Play on calls the umpire. Now the free kick. Canty was
Sling by the jumper. One arm.
The
One
latter
arm sling
by the jumper in this game.
Back two.
And
Waiting
the
2
Irish
metres.
have the ball in the defensive half.
Been good Sean Kavanagh tonight, number 4 for Ireland, the man who the Brisbane Lions were very, very keen on, and I think he's shown tonight and last week why they were so keen.
Go back. Take your kick.
Graham Canty being told to go back and take a kick by Matthew Jones, and he kicked it straight into Gilby, and it'll be Australia's ball.
Lindsay Gilby.
Yeah, six-pointer just liven things up right now, wouldn't it?
Oh boy, to Harvey, by hand. Brett Harvey. Gill to Gian Siracusa, back to Gilby, and he lines it up from inside the 45. He got pushed as he kicked, and it's out of bounds on the full.
They're all over him tonight. Gilby played a significant role last week, but he's been very courageous tonight in his attempts. Heaney, moves the ball further afield. Here is Jordan looking for the handball wide, stolen by Milburn. Grant in there now, picked up by Buchanan. He's hustled, still got rid of the ball. The Australians have got the strength, Garry, there's no doubt about that. There's Maloney, fired it off to Gilby. Has been a good contributor in this quarter. That one not good. A brilliant smother by Heaney. Now they've got the numbers behind the ball. A little bit of a scuffle. There it is, Kavanagh. He was run down by Davey, but isn't everyone run down by Davey? And the Australians are going to respond. McLeod's got it to Harvey. Harvey can run inside 20. Give the ball up to Buchanan. Takes Canty on. Got one high. The umpire said play on. And the Irish have done well in the end.
Good umpiring. He ducked into it, didn't he, Garry?
They've stood up well, the Irish here.
Heaney, he was caught. Gilby, the rebound. Oh, the chance for 6 points here. Davey might run in. Goes for it. And hits it wide. Only a behind.
I think probably for the first time in a game and a half, the Aussies are under there's some real pressure. Maybe early in this game, but they've stood up pretty well, the Irish boys, in this quarter.
McMenamin to the goalkeeper, McVeigh, who has turned it over yet again. We don't want to make it too hard for him, but he hasn't been a good performer.
No good.
Gilby, he goes wide to Waite, playing his first international for Australia, Jared Waite.
Is he a new goalkeeper, Garry?
No, he's 34 years of age.
No, but is he new? Did he goalkeep for Ireland last year?
No,
so he's new.
He's debuted. But he's just his disposal. His goalkeeping's fine.
Yeah. He needs to pull his socks up and play a little better. He can't pull his pants up any further. He's got them well hitched.
No, they're one of the highest I've seen. Right. That's all right. Ball comes out wide to McMenamin. Kicks the ball inboard. No helping. And one of the big boys for the Irish side at the defensive 45, over the top, outnumbered again. McLeod over the top. Here's Kavanagh.
Big moment.
Kavanagh got 2 bounces before he has to get it. There's the second. Runs inside 20. Now he has to kick it off the boot. Does that go to the Dusty? Fletcher, a brilliant save. They're still in it. Off the ground. Cooper had to go.
Dustin Fletcher, you're a star.
Could not finish it off.
We could play for Melbourne victory the way he's going, Dustin Fletcher. They might still get a chance for the over. Long, high kick. It's a behind.
Oh, Dustin Fletcher, has he saved the bacon there? What about a 6-pointer on the siren?
That would have set the cat amongst the pigeons, a 6-pointer there.
Have a look at this shot. Oh, reflex. That is just reflex. They had another crack here too. Gee whiz. What a great effort by Dustin Fletcher.
So the 3/4 time siren sounds. And Australia go in with an 8-point lead. Last week they were 17 points, in fact 40 points up at 3/4 time after being 17 points up at half-time. So they're a lot closer this time, Ireland. Maybe one last chance for Ireland to get some pride back in the final term here. Australia 40, Ireland 32. It's 3/4 time at the Dome.
going on indeed, says the Gooch as he sits at three-quarter time. The series is gone, you'd think, Australia's way, but this test match very much up for grabs. 8 points to margin in favour of the Aussies at three-quarter time. Quickly to Tony Jones.
Well, the Irish boys are in their huddle there. They're going to give this one final crack, that's for sure. They're not going to drop the intensity. And you might want to check out, fellas, they have changed their goalkeeper.
Not before time, Brian.
So Michael McVeigh has gone, and we believe Brian Cullen into goals for the Irish. So here they go. The Irish are still very much within striking distance. 8 points adrift from the Aussies. McLeod into the middle. Deledio accepts the bouncing ball. Hodge involved in a physical clash earlier in the game, picked up by Shannon Grant. He's well within range here. Difficult angle though. Looking for Davey. Went hard at it. Did he? And the Irish are helping. Almost threw it out. Got the ball further afield, and the Irish are out of trouble through the midfield.
They are. Canty kicks it to himself. Graham Canty. Good movement of the ball. He's been run down Ford. Matty Ford took them on. And on the rebound, Milburn.
What about the chase of Lovett?
It was fantastic. Hasn't chasing become trendy in footy, and it's great to see. Gian Siracusa, Harvey, back to Gian Siracusa. The 1-2s work well. Loops it over the top. Milburn, who's run all the way from defence, runs inside the 45. He might even have a shot. He goes for Lappin. With him is Lynch. Lappin's been magnificent tonight.
That chase of Lovett might have just secured Australia their first test victory over Ireland in Melbourne. I mean, that is just unbelievable. Matthew Ford it was, a good tackle.
And he's just lipped off, Garry, because of it.
And the ball ends up the other end, and this man who's close to best on ground, Matthew Lappin, lines up for his second goal.
Carlton hoping to sign him up this week, but yet to sign with the Blues, and he has kicked the over with possession, number 22.
Here's the new goalie. Let's see how he operates. Michael McVeigh sitting out this last quarter. He doesn't look too much better than the other bloke.
Brian Cullen there, who has the ball now, the goalkeeper in yellow, of course.
Turnover is interesting. They got no one in goals.
He was very, very confident though, Garry.
I liked it, Brian. Attacking the game.
There's Canty. Through the midfield, looks for running support. Found it wide. This is Dolan. Dolan sends it inside the 20. Trying to get on the ball. A brilliant save by McManus. Kept it alive. Running to goal. Lynch.
Free kick. Free kick.
Down, paid advantage. Paid advantage.
There it is. Matthew James explaining it to us all, Garry.
Dustin Fletcher in towards Lappin, but it's a turnover, and they're a chance again, the Irish. That was O'Shea. Hasn't had a big night.
Here we go.
He gave it up to McManus. Off hands, Fletcher. Magnificent palm down to Dale Morris.
He learned his lesson from last week. The same situation didn't clear the footy. A 6-pointer result.
Ian Siracusa to Newman. Hasn't he come of age, Chris Newman, in this series? So has Morris. He knocked it on to McLeod. What a superstar. Swift through the midfield to Crode, who was sent off earlier. Chips the kick. It's been cut off on the mark. Taken by Sean Marty Lockhart.
Would have given the ball to McLeod then. Crode. He went the tougher option. There you go, the Irish attacking through O'Helpin.
Goalkeeper again involved in the run out, Brian.
Yeah, which is good positive play, Garry. It shows they're prepared to run.
Indeed.
Sean Martin Lockhart caught with the ball by the man that just loves to run anyone down that he can get, Andrew Lovett. And there's another one. Initially had the tackle high and then it slipped down, so unlucky not to get a free kick out of that, the Irish.
Just wonder why the goalkeeping move wasn't made earlier.
Look at the Australian bench all on their feet behind the play there as
Who's going up?
umpire Michael Collins asked the two players who is going up, and only those two players can go up. Deledio, basketball style, down to Lovett, onto Harvey. Harvey underground at Davey. Watch for the acceleration here from Davey. Sold the dummy beautifully. Gave it inboard to Morris. Searching for someone behind. Found McLeod. He's got it to the 45. McLeod inside. Sees Harvey out wide. Got a hand there on that occasion. I think it may have been McManus. Ball knocked around to Lappin. They go again. Here's Harvey. Turns the gas on. Goes for the over. Goalkeeper knew it all. Did really well in saving the 6-pointer.
He's been good so far, Brian Cullen, the Dublin University student. Been given the honour of going in goal, and they probably should have made that move at about quarter time last week. They might have been a lot better off. Little looping handball back by Desi Dolan.
Good pressure here from the Aussies. This is the pressure.
To Kelly, to Kavanagh. Across the fence. All the way to Podrick Joyce, and he loops it up, and they are away. The running player here, Kieran McManus, and he gets on the end of it. So McManus to the 45.
The chase again.
Jordan.
Look at the chase.
He chips the kick, Jordan. Now there's a free kick.
Just held on to him too long.
Held on to him too long. It'll be an Ireland ball. Just inside the 45. And it'll be that man who ran the length of the field to get it, Kieran McManus, to take the shot, but it'll be a tough kick from there.
A little unlucky, I would have thought. Trent Croad got to make the move here, the Irish. They've got to start to score. Hit the scoreboard.
14 possessions last week, McManus from Offaly. And his kick not too good. Oh, gee, Syracuse kept it alive to Fletcher. That was dangerous, but maybe he knew that Newman could come to the open side and run. And you can see it beautifully on rail cam. Along the wing they run to Grant. He goes with the long bomb option. O'Keefe and Davey are down there. O'Keefe gathers it, thinks about going to Davey. Centering ball. Lovett waits under it. Lovett's got it.
He's been a standout in both games, hasn't he, Andrew Lovett? Dangerous all the time, and his defensive running and chasing down has been, it's just been a joy to watch.
From the rookie list to Australian player in one season. What a year it's been for Andy Lovett, and he scores the over.
That's his second over, and now it's going to be hard for the Irish boys here. Just how resilient are they?
These young Australians, Garry, have really gained a lot of confidence out of this series. The likes of Lovett there, haven't they?
And Morrison, Newman, they've all been terrific.
Big ball over there by Hodge.
Yeah, the hard tough man is out.
McMenamin, the enforcer, lies on the ground yet again. Hasn't done a lot of enforcing here tonight. There's McDonald in the middle. McMenamin is now up and about. The Irish go forward. Coulter turned his man around. It's on behind play just a little. Picked up in the end by Clark. A high ball. It's coming back. It'll be an over. It is by Clark.
That is a great kick. He's been pretty impressive running, Clark. And that wasn't dissimilar, you wouldn't have thought, the last week.
The bump on McMenamin by Hodge.
McMenamin went to ground, which didn't help.
Hodge has got the ball in his hands here on the halfway line, with Australia leading by 10. 20-minute quarters, of course, so plenty of time for the Irish. Buchanan kicks around the body, and a nice kick too finds Grant.
They just need to control the tempo now. Just 20-minute quarters, flat, no time on, unless an injury, of course, or perhaps another blue.
Grant to O'Keefe, and he chips the kick forward, and Buchanan he plays on to Gian Syracuse on the run, left foot kick. There's nothing they can't do.
Yeah, that for a goal. Had the ball around the umpire and his opponent before he kicked that off balance. They've just been too good.
Brilliant.
Far too good.
Foot skills from Daniel Gian Syracuse. Mind you, Garry, just one in the net for Ireland, and they're back in business here. Stolen by Delino.
In the net.
Gives it on to Lovett. No one there. Lovett didn't see that the goalie had gone out.
Oh, it's a goal nonetheless.
But all he had to do was send it along the ground, Garry.
Your man, the runner, the goalie was halfway up the other end. And Pete McGrath's doing the right thing here. He's taking the game on and taking a risk. The turnover there left the goal vacant, and Andrew Lovett, well, the goal was beautiful. He had kicked it a bit lower. It was a six-pointer.
Dom Kelly to Ryan McMenamin, who's up and okay by the looks of it. And he goes wide. Thomas O'Shea, centering ball from his boot. Bounces inside 50. This is Benny Coulter. He's been a star. Knocks it up. Goes to his captain, Podrick Joyce, and it's out of play. And it'll be an Australian ball. It'll go to Hodge when they finally get it back.
You've probably got to say now, Brian, they should just have a crack at the 6 point, the Irish.
Prodie nearly took out rail cam.
He did indeed.
In fact, it's a fair thing to hurdle too for Trent Croad, but he made the yardage.
Okay, bring it up.
Umpire Michael Collins.
He's on the mark.
Given this game after not doing the first game in Perth, some would say a strange decision, but nevertheless, Delidio, Harvey, Buchanan, got a good shepherd from Harvey, allowed to get him within 3-point range. This one just a 1-pointer from Buchanan. So the Australians full of run. Remember, they are the professional team, and of course the Irish team play as amateurs.
Yes, the school teachers and carpenters, as we said, forestry workers. Didn't see much out of the accountant, the banker, Colm Cooper, the gooch. He didn't give us much. And this is the captain of the premiership team.
Played like an accountant.
I want to get your assessment of the gooch before the game's over.
Brian Dewar, by the way, the man who took over as captain of Tyrone after Cormac McAnallen passed away, the young lad. And of course they're playing for the Cormac McAnallen Cup tonight, Australia and Ireland, and the presentation not far away. In fact, let's go down to Tony Jones.
Well, a magnificent crowd, 45,428. So, well, Sheedy, he talked it up through the week and it's paid dividends.
45,000, that is magnificent. They have been entertained, there's no question about that. And the Aussies are just full of running here, boys.
One thing missing, Gary, we need one on the back of the net.
Yeah, we do.
Not since 1990 has there failed to be a goal kicked in any game, so we have no goals, no six-pointers kicked tonight. And that hasn't happened since way back in 1990. We'd love to see one of those now.
5 minutes to go, they might just open them up, Brian, and start having a ping at them.
All right, well, we look forward to that. In the meantime, the Irish control the ball through McDonald in the middle. Goes wide to O'Halpiner, who's not the most agile athlete out there, but gets the job done across half-back. Kick is wide and finds Ronan Clark.
He's a nice kick, this fellow, from last weekend tonight. He's got 2 overs already.
The Australians revved up yesterday, of course, by Shane Warne, and the founder of this Gaelic game, Harry Beitzel, came down and addressed the Australian players. Great friends with Kevin Sheedy, of course, Harry Beitzel. Kick into the man on the mark.
Well, it's going pear-shaped at the moment.
Buchanan not willing to attack because he had a look downfield and felt the numbers weren't in Australia's favour. And so the Australians, as in Aussie rule style, run the ball to the opposing side of the ground and the switch, and then run forward en masse. Harvey took his legal 2 bounces. Eagleton takes his legal 2 bounces. He must kick the ball off his boot now. He does. It was wild, indiscriminate, and a little ugly in the end.
11 and a half minutes. The Aussies 18 points up. It looks like they go the clean sweep here. First time ever in Australia. First win in Melbourne.
Cullen to Canty. Graham Canty from County Cork. Chips the ball and finds Ross Munnelly in his first international match tonight. Munnelly, he goes to Benny Calder, tried to slap on, it didn't work, and Morris got it to Gilby, and he runs around Ronan Clark with ease. Gilby goes wider, picks up O'Keefe, and he runs with it to the 45. Australia with numbers, they're still running. Deledio, they've been running on and off the bench all night. Deledio all the way back to Milburn. He's almost on the defensive 45, Darren Milburn. Now to Crone. Wide ball from his boot. Not a good one. And it might not stay in play. It'll be an Ireland ball. And it'll go to a man who we haven't seen a lot of, Kieran McDonald.
He's been disappointing, McDonald. He was a star last year. But he just, Newman's had his measure.
Kicks the ball into Newman. Went and got it again. And he loves that inside-out ball.
Well, that's why. That's what he's capable of. But I reckon in his game that he gets the ball given to him. In this particular contest against Australia, you've got to win your own footy.
Look at this. Dustin Fletcher just got a hand there, and he's been brilliant in goals for Australia in this series, Dustin Fletcher.
Yes, indeed.
Fletcher goes wide to Eagleton. And never been an All-Australian, Nathan Eagleton, but he's played 3 international games, and he's been very good at this Gaelic style of football. Lappin also been good at the Gaelic style. Gets the call to play on, and he bounces it towards Gian Siracusa. Slaps it on to Eagleton across the attacking 45. Centering ball to O'Keefe. Plays on. Oh, he could have gone for 6. Went for 3 and made sure of it. 57 to 39. And with less than 7 minutes remaining, Australia are looking at a clean sweep, as Garry said, for the first time ever in Australia.
Someone get out there and tell the Aussies it's all right to put one in the back of the net now. Take the punt. Gilby applying the tackling pressure as the Irish mount another challenge. Canty through the middle. They run in numbers here. Kick inboard is good. Diving low was forward. Couldn't quite get hold of it. Bounce back out. Comes to Dolan. Has a shot once again. Fletcher there to save the day.
54 points is the aggregate margin of both games here. The biggest ever was 50 last year, so the Aussies on record pace this year.
McLeod. There's a look at the crowd in tonight. 45,000. That is brilliant, following on the low, I think, 40s in Perth last week. So in excess of 80,000 people have witnessed these 2 internationals here in Australia. Fantastically supported, as they have been in Ireland, I might add. Here's Newman, look over the top. Gian Siracusa waits. Now he's got running support from Hodge. He can draw a man. He'll go wide. He goes for the under. Got a second chance, the Aussies.
That goalkeeper, where have you been?
That's better from the Aussies. Have a go at it.
McMenamin finds Brian Dewar. He to Graham Canty. Runs to halfway. Oh, he's been dumped behind play as well. It'll be a free kick downfield. Kieran McManus likely to take it, although McDonald now wants a piece of it.
Just about out on their feet. The Irish boys, they've been brave. What a good save. Good attempt.
Certainly was a good save. And now the long shot by Kieran McManus. Fletcher under pressure. And it's a three-pointer. It isn't over. Nice score from out there.
What about that for a goal? I mean, that's the thing, I guess, that has been lacking from the Irish boys, is that unbelievable converting.
Well, that line he kicked from is 45 metres.
Hit it easy.
Throw in the round ball, and it's pretty well done. Crowd, not 20. Ball must travel 20 for a legal mark in this game. McLeod.
He's been superb again, Andrew McLeod.
Matthew James, the umpire, has had a great series here in this game as well, telling the players what they're doing wrong and right whenever he makes a decision.
Darren Milburn also been a terrific player.
And Gilby, likewise, first game in Perth was electric.
Let's be honest, there is not one Aussie player that hasn't been a major contributor.
No doubt, the team spirit, the youthful approach that Kevin Sheedy has taken, Garry, has paid some dividend. And they've played with great togetherness.
Just toying with the opposition at the moment.
They're trying to draw them forward, Garry, and then get it over the top.
Just running out the clock, I think, Bryza.
Morris. Buchanan. Off the ball free kick to Morris. So Buchanan will take it. And I think the Aussies are just about running out of steam as well, Dwayne.
It looks as if they're pretty happy with the scoreline. 51 points in total. They go all the way back to Darren Milburn. It's as if they're just running the minutes off the clock.
The big crowd want to see a six-pointer. There's no doubt about that.
So do we. Fletcher goes to Gilby. Across halfway to Crode. Now Australia have plenty of players in their forward half. If this travels over the top as it does, they may be a chance here. Toe poke on the ball. Pick up is good from Ford. He's about to get caught. Gets the kick away just in time. And they will work it out of the fence. Graham Canty loops it over the top to Desi Dolan. Back into the corridor. O'Halpin. His handball, well, he missed the target. Ryan McMenamin forced to go back and get it. Wide kick and off the hand. And it'll be a Deledio free for Australia.
Nice bit of footwork from Matty Ford. Haven't seen that in the attacking half, which has been disappointing from Ireland. What about Brett Deledio playing in his first year of AFL footy? Nice little achievement to have alongside you, know.
He has been fantastic. Played every game for Richmond this year and has backed it up by playing both games in the International Series. Here goes Eagleton.
Six-pointer here, Brian.
A couple of bounces. Centering ball. Fitzpills are in play here. And Makepeace is marked directly in front. Can he elect to put this ball on the ground if he wants, Garry, or does he have to kick it orthodox style?
No, he could, but with a man on the mark, it'd be silly to. So,
not if you're David Beckham and you can get a little bit of bend and a little bit of elevation, Garry.
Troy Makepeace and David Beckham doesn't quite roll off the tongue, Bryza.
Makepeace for the over.
Troy Makepeace, his international debut tonight. So too, that man you saw briefly, Jared Waite, playing in his first international tonight. The one man who might be a little disappointed, Daniel Wells, the only player in the Australian squad who didn't get a game because his injury didn't come up. He had a calf injury. Brian Cullen, stand-in goalkeeper after they sacked Mickey McVeigh. Gets it to Matty Ford. And now Graham Canty. And he runs with Railcam. Has a bounce. Handball is good. Finds to Desi Dolan. And he goes backwards. Chipping wide. Brian Dewar takes the mark for Ireland. But we're a minute from full time. Matty Ford tucked into the line. Maybe one last chance for a six-pointer to O'Halpin. Centering ball. Australia with the numbers back. Big knockdown. Toe poke off the deck is good from Heaney. But there's no Irish players to get near it. And there's an invader on the pitch at the moment.
54 points is the aggregate margin. It is the biggest ever in the history of games between these two countries. It's been a stunning result by a young Australian team. And Pete McGrath.
Now the emergency umpire is out and just telling the umpires there's an invader on the ground and just to hold play for a moment in case it goes down to that end of the ground, in which it is now. Eagleton.
countdown clock, Brian, here is up on the scoreboard. Everyone knows there's less than half a minute to go. There'll be a mighty roar.
First win coming up for Australia in Melbourne ever since the inception of this Aussie rules or international series. Morris, Deledio, he's got weight over the top if he wanted. He could have run in for the 6-pointer. Look at him, he's waiting there a long time. Grant comes in and says, I'll just finish with an over. That'll do me.
And there it is. A clean sweep. The Aussies have won their first game here in Melbourne. They have absolutely wiped the Irish. 19 points the margin. 36 points the margin last Friday night in Perth. That is an aggregate total of 55 points, and that is an all-time record. Jim Stynes played a pivotal role. The Irish were brave tonight, boys. They hit back hard, but the simple fact is this Australian team were too good, and one of the stars of the two games is Andrew Lovett. He's with Tony Jones.
Yeah, good on you. Thanks, Garry. Well, did you have fun?
Unbelievable. Look, it was the best time of my life or in my footy career, so look, I wouldn't change for anything. It's just fantastic atmosphere. Just awesome to be out here.
It's been an amazing year for you, hasn't it?
It's been a pretty fast year, I'd say. I'll start off as a rookie list, as everybody all knows, but yeah, I had a few chances at Essendon, and then end up finishing, just playing here for Australia. It's a dream come true, pretty much.
And to pull on that jumper, mate, you obviously put your hand up to do it again next year.
Oh, of course, if I get that opportunity, just to go over to Ireland, then I'll be happy to go across there. Look, it's just amazing. I feel it's hard to. I can't explain it right now. I'm just over the moment, speechless.
All right, good on you, mate. Well done.
Thanks, TJ. Pressure.
Well done indeed, Andrew Lovett. The Australian team celebrating. This large crowd have hung around. Good spirit between the two teams too. I know that was at stages here it did spill over, but both teams shaking hands and congratulating one another. They will get together after the game and have a beer and a meal. And Chris Johnson just jogging over now. Chris Johnson jogging over, just seeking out a couple of the Irish players. Dustin Fletcher, what a game he had. He's with Tony Jones.
Well, probably one of the most unenviable tasks out there, Dustin, but you did it with aplomb.
Oh yeah, the few balls came at me, but just got to keep calling the boys back, and the half-back line did a good job, but keep calling them back and they'll help you out.
What about that great save in the third quarter? Did you even surprise yourself with that one?
Yeah, I got a hand in it, mate, so but Sauce has been good helping us out and doing all that work, so that was good.
All right, well, you proved you can knock over Ireland. What about Uruguay?
Yeah, I reckon the boys will go all right, yeah.
Go and join the song, mate.
Well, the Australian boys linking arms. They are joining up in the circle here. And this will be the national anthem that's about to be belted out. The Irish boys just standing by. Here we go.
Of beauty, rich and rare, in history's speech that every state heavens Australia fair. In joyful strength and with us sing, advance Australia.
Yes, the Aussies, big winners tonight. Super game presentation shortly. The Jim Stynes medalist will be named, and the Cormac McAnallen Trophy will be presented to the co-captains, Chris Johnson and Andrew McLeod. Brent Harvey, a Jim Stynes medalist, is down on the ground with Tony Jones.
Geez, it's hard to realise that you guys, you've really only been together for a couple of weeks or a few weeks at most, but you've bonded pretty well.
Look, we've got a fantastic... This is my fourth series, and the bunch of guys I played with this year has by far been the best. They're young, enthusiastic, and it's been great the last 2 weeks.
You were physical tonight, wasn't it?
It was. The Irish boys didn't take as much as they did last week, and you could see that from the word go, and they put up a good fight, but not good enough.
You expected it, and when Kevin came out through the week and sort of dangled the bait, you must have been thinking, gee, put on your sheets, thanks for that.
Yeah, look, Sheeds mentioned it during the week. The Irish weren't going to serve that up again, and he's a fantastic coach. You can see why he's been in the game for so long, and as I said, the boys have been fantastic, so it was a great win.
All right, you go and rejoin him then.
Thanks, boys.
Good on your tone. Presentation time now. The Master of Ceremonies for the AFL, Craig Willis.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you'll agree the Foster's International Rules Series has been a wonderful event with some outstanding individual performances. To present the Jim Stynes medal to the best player on the Australian team, as judged by the coach and members of the Australian Match Committee, would you welcome to the podium former Australian and Irish international Jim Stynes to award the medal named in his honour.
Thanks, Greg. It was a tremendous game tonight. It was fought by two great teams. It gives me great pleasure to present this medal to one of our players who's been awesome, not just this year, but in years gone by. He's one of the best Aboriginal players to play in this country, and he's got a bit of Celtic blood in him. Please put your hands together for the best on ground over the two games, Andrew McLeod.
Okay, I'd just like to first of all thank the Irish for a great series, and they played well. But to the boys over here and the Sheets, we worked bloody hard for the last couple of weeks, and we put together a side. No one rated us. We knew what we were doing. We brought the series back for Australia. Well done, boys.
And Andrew McLeod, the winner of the Jim Stynes medal. I'm now going to call upon the president of the GAA, Sean Kelly, to present the medal to the player adjudged the best player in the series for the team representing Ireland. Sean.
Corda, firstly, congratulations to Australia on a fantastic victory. Well done to Kevin Sheedy and his boys. Of the two games, you certainly deserved to win. But also I'd like to thank our own boys. I thought they really came back well from last week, did very well tonight, and certainly we're very proud of them. Now, the round of applause well deserved. The medal for the Irish player of the series goes to a man with a surname well known and much loved in Australia, another Kelly from County Laois, Tom Kelly.
Thank you, Sean. Tom, congratulations. Well, the Irish team have been magnificent in this series and representing their country with great pride and distinction. I'd like to ask their captain, Porrick Joyce, to come forward and say a few words.
Ladies and gentlemen, all I can do is thank the players, the Irish lads, for all their effort. Thank the management. Thank our sponsors, Coca-Cola. I'd like to thank all the Irish supporters here in Australia for showing up and giving us great support. Finally, I'd like to thank the Australians and congratulate them on probably a super performance over the 2 Fridays. They were superb, and we'll give them a good Irish welcome next year when they come over to Ireland. Well done.
And a safe journey home to the boys representing Ireland. I'm going to ask now Vanessa Cohen, the sponsorship manager for Foster's Brewing International, to present the Cormac McAnallen Trophy to the co-captains of Australia, Chris Johnson and Andrew McLeod.
I just want to say thanks to the Irish guys coming out and keeping this series alive, and thanks to all the Aussies coming out and supporting us, and let's have a good party tonight, eh?
Chris Johnson, great captain of the Australian team, a great victory. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Australian Football League, the GAA and Foster's Brewing International, we hope you've enjoyed this wonderful Foster's International Rules Series from Telstra Dome. Good night to you all.
Craig Willis there, the MC of the AFL, presenting the Cormac McAnallen Trophy to the co-captains Andrew McLeod and Chris Johnson. Pete McGrath, you've been keeping an eye on him down there, the Irish coach, Brian.
Oh, I have. I watched Kevin Sheedy come over and shake just about the hands of everyone in the Irish team, and I never saw him make contact with Pete McGrath at all. I think Pete McGrath is still fuming about the way that this series has been played, especially here tonight.
Well, Australians look like they're about to walk over and shake the hands of the Irish boys and swap jumpers, which is beautiful to see.
Look, it's a fierce contest out on the ground, and I've been involved in the past where there's been a couple of blues, and once these guys get together afterwards, I've never ever seen a problem between the on-field players. The administrators might have a word.
We've just been told that they actually did shake hands, Gary, so that is a good thing. I didn't actually see it, but we have been told that did happen. But I still think that Pete McGrath is fuming underneath, and it would be a very interesting press conference after this.
Well, after all these series, there's always both members of the Irish side and the Australian administration and management sit down and work out what worked and what perhaps they can work on. It's an evolving series. It's one that's really still in its relative infancy in as much as it's only been around for the last 6 or 7 years. And look, I don't for 1 second would the Australians condone the actions of Chris Johnson today. He'll go before the tribunal and probably be suspended and not able to travel next year to Ireland. But let's focus on what has been an amazing performance by this side. Let's not forget when this squad was put together, there are a lot of people raising eyebrows and suggesting that these no-names, if you like, weren't capable of even competing with the Irish. Not only have they competed, they've registered a record aggregate victory.
Well, the no-names have become Sheedy's Speedies, as they've been nicknamed, and Matthew Lappin there, Chris Newman, a couple of the stars of the show, and it was great to see the two Indigenous Team of the Century boys as co-captains, Andrew McLeod and Chris Johnson. And as we said earlier, Andrew McLeod, whose father, Jock McLeod, is Scottish. He, like all the Australian players, played with every ounce of enthusiasm that we hoped they would. It's been a fantastic series.
It has been indeed. Don't go away. We'll take a break here at the Telstra Dome. It's the Aussies by 19 points. We'll wrap up what has been a magnificent international rules series. $45,428 people saw Australia secure a clean sweep in the International Rules Series. 19 points the margin. It was an emphatic victory. The Irish were brave, but the Aussies always seemed to have it in hand, and they went down to the rooms and sung the Australian national anthem with some gusto.
Once again, a rousing rendition and a pretty big circle, that one, Brian, with plenty of people involved in the success of this series.
Some very happy Australian players down there, Gary. There is no question about that. And, of course, Tony Jones is the man down there with the coach, Kevin Sheedy.
Thanks, BT. And Kev, through the home and away season and the like, we always do these interviews with sponsors in the background, but
it's a good sponsor.
Not a bad sponsor, is it?
No worries about that. We've got 20 million people here, and why not love our country and enjoy, the AFL boys playing for Australia. It's only been going back on about now. It's 4 years. We've levelled up the series 4-all, and it's just been an exciting sort of couple of weeks for a person like myself who's been in the game for a fair while.
Just tell us about the flags you've got in your hand here.
Well, look, Dipper has organised this with a team, the Aboriginal flag of Australia, signed by all the players, and the Australian flag for the Troy Broadbridge Foundation. And that's just fantastic for all the players. We had a couple of Melbourne boys in the team, and of course, I think that we got it right. We've got a good spirit around the team, and we should go to Ireland with a pretty good lineup next year.
All right, terrific. Now, I know the boys upstairs want to ask a few, so you take the mic because this could go for a while.
And Kevin, just wanted to know, you put the toe in the water test with this international series. What do you personally take away from the series now you've had a good close look at it?
I think that the thing I've learned about is, from my own point of view, it's just picking up a group of 20, 4 players plus the 3 Bomber boys, that Fletcher, Lovett and also Bradley that contributed. Train them for a week and get over there to Perth and play a pretty exciting game of footy. A lot more hits tonight, very, very tough game. I think that both codes are really improving and lifting the bar, and that's one thing I think I'll take out of it, fellas. It's a tougher game than what a lot of people think, because you're doing a lot of power running in the midfield in particular. You've got to have a terrific amount of skill to kick the ball left and right foot with the round ball, and of course to find a goalie like Fletcher, which is sensational. So he's probably, I have to say that if McLeod was he won the medal, I think most coaches here felt Fletcher was a tremendous success in the game.
He was indeed. Follows in the footsteps of Stephen Silvani and Andrew Callaway. Has looked like someone that was natural in goal sheets. I reckon the best thing about tonight was that on the back of what was a thumping last week, the danger was that the Irish come out and be not non-competitive but get blown away again. But tonight it was a genuine contest. The Aussie boys looked shaky early in the piece, and that was due to the pressure the Irish were able to put on you.
Well, we wanted to get off to a pretty good start, and even if it was level at quarter time, I was prepared to take that on board, because that was 20 minutes out of the road, and then you've got to play for another, say, 60 to 64 minutes sort of stuff. And we knew we had some good runs. We added another runner to the team, leaving 2 tall players out, and in the end, Makepeace got us that goal late in the game. All those things are pretty handy for us, and I'm pretty lucky to be able to get this job. You'd have to say that. I'd like to thank the Essendon board and also Peter Jackson and all my coaches, because I've been away for a couple of weeks, and this is probably the first time an active club coach has taken over and coached Australia. So I'm a very lucky person to get that opportunity. So thank everybody for that, and I'd love to thank all the people here that work with me, because Garry, how hard it is to get a group of people of say 50, 60 on the road and try and get it right.
Well, you've done that, Sheeds, there's no doubt about that. We're seeing some of those people who've been instrumental in the series and the victories. And congratulations, 2 from 2. You can't get any better than that.
Fantastic.
It's a terrific result. It's breathed life, not that it needed life being breathed back into it, but from an Australian point of view, it certainly sets up a magnificent series next year in Ireland. And I think on behalf of Brian and all of us at Channel 9, congratulations. It was a great series. Over 80,000 people watched the 2 games, and it's alive and well.
Well, I know it'll be different in Ireland next year, because you won't be getting a roof over your head. It'll be tough, cold, rain, sleet. So the side we pick's going to have to be different again, and that's why we're looking at it.
Right up your alley, Sheeds, I would have thought. Sit back, rest that throat, have a couple of red wines, enjoy the races tomorrow. Is a perfect record. Kevin Sheedy, the coach of the Australian International Rules team. It was a great result.
It was.
And I think next year it's going to be a coveted trip over there, and I think that's the great thing about it. No longer are the superstars, if you like, guaranteed a spot. When you see Newman and Deledio and Lovett and Morris and these boys perform as they have.
Will it evolve again next year, Garry? Will the pattern of play, the Australians went with the fast team this year, what will happen next year?
Well, the challenge is now firmly at the feet of the Irish. It was with us, with our disappointing result last year. The Aussies have reacted in the best possible way. Now these Irish boys will go home, lick their wounds and set about trying to...
What about my man, the Gooch, will he go home and be reinstated in the side, do you think?
Right, I want to sit down after this and have a good talk to you, because the Gooch was an abject...
You told me about him.
We will discuss that. We've got to wrap up. It's been a big night here. It's had plenty. I'm sure you've enjoyed it at home. The Aussies have prevailed by 19 points. Great to have your company, Bryce. We'll have a break and be back for the NAB Cup. It is next year, the pre-season.
Fantastic.
Thank you for your company. It was the Aussies by 19 points. The series locked away 4-4. Hopefully, Brian, you and I in Dublin next year. We'll see you then. Good night.
This has been another presentation from Nine's Wide World of Sports.